The Southern Band, charges on the beat.
To get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. To spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat keep on crunchy like my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. To spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? This one you back today.
Well, folks, welcome to another edition of the program, the Spoon Talk. As a matter of fact, this is the biggest thing that takes place on radio, online, as well as, to all our mediums. We are live on the Fabric 101.1 FM, Super 95.5, and of course the biggest Spoon 107.5 FM, and also live on Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and all of them, mediums around connected. We'd also like to say welcome to you, those of you joining across the world. We'd like to say welcome. My name is Aaron Kuban, and I'm your sound coordinator for tonight's edition of the program. And I'd like to say good evening and welcome to Dr. Richardson and James Flomo.
Aaron, how are you doing? Good day. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, how are you doing? I see you for a long time, Aaron. Where you been at?
Yeah.
Aaron been missing action.
Yeah, I've not been very well sometime, and then another time I was busy with school. So even the way you see me dressed is because of some presentations I had to do today.
Oh, you did presentation in class?
Yeah. So.
Okay, I hope you got good grade for your presentation. That's how I like to see my students come for their presenting.
Yeah, so
that's impressive.
Though
he was not part of those who were talking. He was just, the presentation. Sometimes when you guys are 5, everybody has to stand in line, and then the lead presenter will go ahead, and everyone will, just make their point. That is why he was not a lead presenter.
Yeah, but actually, I believe that.
You don't have to believe that because Jesus is not here. So Jesus making up story.
But Aaron, you know what? I just like to tell you that I think your presentation has a lot to do with influencing how people might see you or how you might get graded. I mean, it's not all to it because the content of what you say is also important. But just your presentation to me is still gonna get you halfway in the door. That's how I always tell my students, at least you don't turn me off right away by me saying, "Oh, what kind of thing they make can't dress here?" Why is you here for him?
So German dress code alone.
You have
what did your dress code got to do with a presentation? Who
I
told you
say,
that you just go and me can present
I
you?
say halfway through the door.
Yeah,
Okay,
James, you don't understand.
James, it has a lot to do with how you present yourself.
This
Okay,
man did not present. I had a friend in the class. She told me about everything.
James,
but
what
he have,
happened?
but at least he have booster the people who were presenting.
You don't have to believe what James is saying. I led one of the groups and
Okay, you know
also
what happened that I was just saying? Can this man just give us a summary of his presentation?
James.
Yeah, before we start, let you just give us summary.
Gee, I beg you, how you do
What did
today?
you want to know? He can't say he presented. He was telling what they're picking.
James, you know what something? I saw your own picture with all you talking about the Eve gender dominated your picture. I saw
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. James.
What do you want to say?
Yeah, you put a tiny table the Eve gender over here. Okay.
All the Eve channel that you see the way they were started doing their phone.
But yeah, but how we supposed to take picture? You only take picture one snap. It's
Everyone go ahead,
yeah.
Mr.
So
Contributor.
anyway, let's welcome Liberians to the premier talk
So yeah,
show,
I'll press you.
the top talk show program. We want to welcome you. We really appreciate you being here. All of those who are, in the comment section, continue to make your good comments and thoughts and engage us. We appreciate that. If you are listening to us by way of radio, just take it in and hopefully you have an opportunity to call in to add your voice to the conversation. We just like to welcome you. This is Liberia's radio station. This is the place where you get to hear about important things that are happening in our country, and we'll give it to you, and it's up to you to make decisions about how do we improve our country. It's always about the progress of Liberia. The panelists will be rolling in, and today we have a guest coming in. She is from Nima County, running in District 2 as an independent candidate. She's going to come in, Miss Wilson. She's going to come in and let us know exactly what her plans are for the district. For all of those aspirants out there who are wanting to let your message be known to fellow Liberians, this is the place to come. You can come in here, talk to a wide range of people because POON is very, very widespread in the country. And just let your message be known. Contact the business office if you need to make an arrangement to come here and speak to the Liberian people about your plan of developing your district, your county. Maybe you're running to be a senator or you're running to be a representative. This is the place to come to speak to Liberians. Talk to the business office at Spoon Network. You can just inbox me. I'll be glad to give you the business office information. And furthermore, we will, when you come here, it's going to be your message going through. You can interact with the panelists. In terms of sharing your message, we have some panelists that got different expertise here. They will also help you improve your message with your constituents. So having said that, I'm going to go to Aaron and then Good Day for trending issues in the country. Aaron, do you want to tell us some of the trending issues in the country?
Yes. There are lots of things that always trending. The news always coming, and we as journalists we are there to report them. Um, One of the issues that is actually trending is the arrest of quote unquote 8 Sierra Leoneans who were attempted to register in Grand Cape Mount County. I read in newspaper the women voices reporting about 8%. So I decided to go further because since in fact since last night I've been hearing about 8 persons, but not hearing the names of the others, une an individual. So I decided to go beyond this information. So I contacted someone who has preferred not to be named. A hardy place who's within the Liberia Immigration Service within Grand Cape Mount County and the area where this incident occurred. And this person has informed me that only uh, one person was arrested according to the information they have, and not 8. Um, one Chroma Sylvester or Sylvester Chroma was arrested with a Sierra Leonean immigration ID card. He was the one who they have record of that have been arrested, not the other 7 or 8 persons that are being reported. So that in itself brings in some conflict as it relates to the figure that that is coming out of Grand Cape Mount County, especially when immigration officers there, especially a hard placed person, is reporting that only one person that they know they've arrested with Sierra Leonean identification and Sierra Leonean passport or whatsoever, and not 8 persons as being claimed. So there is something that will go further beyond and even ask the person responsible for communication at the Liberian Immigration Service, who the newspapers quoted, that 8 persons were arrested in Great Cape County linked to Sierra Leone, trying to register through our voter registration process. Now there is something that was trending today too as well. I also thought to go beyond this. A lady identified as Antoinette Yancey.
Uh-huh.
Uh, there was a news trending that she tried sending a message, or she sent a message to CDC chairman Moba Molu, encouraging citizens, especially first-time voters who are citizens, to go to her area of assignment to register in a partisan form and manner, so that most citizens can get registered in Moswaro County District number 10. As you know, Representative Yeke Koluba um, is the representative of that district. And he and his supporters were claiming that this message was, intercepted by his intelligence bureau. And that was how they started posting that message, on social media, that this lady tried to contact Moba Molu and one chair lady who they clean. Uh, the lady was informing to bring more citizens, especially first-time voters, to register. So I decided to contact her. I saw when they posted, and I saw the number with the lady's name, so I decided to contact her. When I contacted her, I introduced myself. I work with Spoon Network. She said too has been receiving dozens of calls. People been calling her, but she confirmed that that's her number and her name on the WhatsApp, but her phone got missing during the riot. That originally you are aware that a lot of riot have been going on in district number 10. So she said she's not aware of that message, where it came from, or who sent the message, but that's her number. But her phone got missing since the riot in Moswaro County District number 10. So she has no knowledge about whosoever sent that message. Now, the final trending news here is that James is aware of this. ARET, the Institute for Research and Democratic Development, this institution released annual scorecards of legislators. Every year they release the scorecards, and Dr. Richardson, it was interesting to know that like the way we go to school, and every year we want to, also every semester we want to get our scorecard. Many lawmakers look out for our reports to see as to whether they've done well, because there are monitors that monitor them as every time they are in session.
Mm-hmm.
So the latest ARA report says about 20 representatives score F in attendance.
Attendance.
Yes, attendance. They don't go to work. They score F. But just to break it down a little bit, for the Senate attendance, you have Senator Abraham Darius Dillon scoring A for attendance, and also scoring high mark in terms of participation at the level of the Liberian Senate. He's followed by J. Milton Tieje, who's also scored 8 and got high mark when it comes to participation. Abachi, of course, is the pro 10. He got A in terms of attendance. He does not really participate because of his role he played in the Liberian Senate. J. Emmanuel Nukwetu, attendance, he got A. Simeon Brema Taylor, Nomini Batikwa, Boto Kane. These are lawmakers that got A in terms of their attendance. One senator scored F in terms of attendance is Senator Eddie Mervyn Snow of Bomi County. According to ARED, Why they identified the fact that Senator Snow represents Liberia at the ECOWAS Parliament, but he has not brought in any report. He doesn't bring in report, so they cannot state as to whether when the senator is not in session, whether he's at ECOWAS or he's somewhere else. Because of this, he has scored F with the notation that while it is true that he's a son at the ECOWAS Parliament, he does not bring in any report to show as to whether he actually went at the ECOWAS Parliament or not. Whether he maybe sometimes traveling, going on something private, that is not clear. So for the House of Representatives, I don't know if the agency wants to hear some of the names of people that score F in terms of attendance. But
let it like bring for
I know you can score F.
You can score F.
No.
Koluba score F. You have
the times that he was suspended.
In terms of attendance, they did not say that. They did not put any notation.
I just thought I asked, but that's okay. I know that there was a time frame where they asked him not to go. He was suspended or whatever.
Thomas Fala to score F. Thomas P. Fala of the CDC, he score F. He doesn't go to session. Most of the time, he's in Lofa County. Yeah, he doesn't go to session. Most of the time, he's in Lofa County. Samuel Enos, district number 6 representative, also score F. Like I mentioned, Yeke Koluba, he scored F. Edward Kafia. Edward Kafia represents district number 5 in Bon County. He's also aspiring to become senator. So he got F. Hence Bashu got F. Mary Kawa. Mary Kawa, as you know, she's the wife of Chief Zaza Kawa. She's a lawmaker also, district number 2, Grand Bassa County. She scored F in performance, that is attendance. So in terms of attendance, the only 2 representatives score A, and that's Buffer Chimot, who is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and you have Afa Kokolo Jones of Mount Gibi County. Only 2 representatives score A, the rest score F, and the list very, very long of lawmakers that score F. And
district number 15 lawmakers score F.
District number
Abu
15.
Bana Kamara.
Can you tell us about the Senate?
I was talking about the Senate, but it's let me. I can go back to that.
You got through the Senate.
Were you finished?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Senate.
You gave the one that scored F in the Senate.
Yes, the president that scored F in the Senate was only one senator, Eddie Melvin Snow. He scored F, and like when you came in, when I was talking about his presentation of reports to the Senate, because the similar thing was alleged against the president. Even when he was at the Parliament, it was stated that when he goes to the Parliament, he does not come back with report. So similarly, he scored F in terms of attendance too as well. That was by the same institution, ARED. So Eddie Snow also scored F. That is because it's not clear as to where he goes each time he's out of session. I was talking about district number 15, right?
Yeah, 15.
District number 15 lawmaker. He's one of those who, from the start of the session to the period of this report, there's an annual report, he did not say a word. He's one of those.
But he can talk.
What?
He can talk. I did the session before I watched him.
He's Abu Bana Kamara.
15, Montserrat County, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
Abu Bana Kamara.
Okay.
He can talk.
Yeah, so let me find that portion.
So there were other people on that list who just haven't said anything, right? There was I got about maybe about 3 of them here.
Okay. On the contrary, 3 representatives was muted perpetually, did not speak at all in plenary participation terms. And they are Manon Bishop Johnson, CDC, Bomi County, Abu Bana Kamara, CDC, Mosaro County, and Joseph M. Matthews Jr., Independent, Kwabolu County. These 3 lawmakers did not say a word. Annual is an annual report. So annual, we already know what annual is. So they sat there.
From January to December.
December.
You said boo.
They even say whoa.
Yeah, they even say hello. But
Hello.
he's good at talking faster when you listen to him. Every day he with our B show. Yeah. Carrying new cars at the parliament every week or every month. He has to introduce new vehicle.
Who's that? Who do that?
Abu Kamara.
Wow. So let me ask you guys something. So if people wanted to find out where this report is located, your piece announced where people can go and see how the senators and representatives are performing. I think I read, right?
Yes, all right. It's the Institute for Research and Democratic Development.
Sure.
This is a 2022 Legislative Performance Monitoring Report. Yeah, there's a PowerPoint presentation. We were, it was sent to us journalists who they have access to our mail, so they directly send it to my mail.
So let me check my mail. They always send it to the mail.
So James, you gotta check your mail to see whether
Liberians, if you're listening, you can get all your news here at Spoon, and we just give you some breaking news basically about your representatives and senators, the people, your lawmakers, basically. So you can follow up. We'll continue to talk about it, but we want to tell you that we are telling you the facts here. So follow up on IRED, got a website or a Facebook page to get the exact list and names of names of people who are speaking on your behalf or not speaking on your behalf.
Yeah. So somebody asking for District 13, the District 13 lawmaker also score F.
No,
you should please send it to me. I did not.
I'll be forward to you now. So maybe you could take
because
maybe you could.
This is my first time now attending their press conference because I was in Liberia.
You're not in Liberia right now. Yeah. So this is what we need to talk about. This, I'm sure our team of panelists are very interested in this news because we have to let the Liberian people know who's working on their behalf and who's not working on their behalf. It's quite impressive. I want to give it up to Senator Darius Dillon for speaking in session. He got, I think, the highest score for participation, basically, in session. There were a couple of other people on that list. We want to thank you. Even if you didn't say the right thing, at least you had the courage to speak something. Good day. Aaron, are you done? So we can move to good day because we're expecting a guest. I want us to be.
Yes. So far, there are lots of things in the report, but the report is bulky, so we cannot state out. So I'll, like James said, I will send it to him and maybe he forwards it to you. And then to all of the panelists.
We can put the website on Spoon TV. We can put the website on Spoon TV.
Share the link,
Yes, and then people can go and get more information. Thank you so much, Eric Obama. Anything else you'd like to add before we go over to Good Day to weigh in?
I think I'm done for now.
Okay, Good Day. You like to weigh in anything you want to add?
Yeah, just to begin with what everyone ended on, I think the last report that we attended, Senator Dillon also scored a very good mark. Senator Dillon, right, Aaron? He scored a very good mark.
He has always scored.
But when this report come out, most often lawmakers who will not perform, their adherents will go ahead by telling you that IREC took money from lawmakers to give them good marks. That's the story you will hear them carrying around, that they took money from people, forgetting to know that this institution is an independent institution that is being funded by its parent organization. But they will always come up when lawmaker A result is bad, his supporters will come out and say, hey, they took money, they asking for money. Like I saw few supporters of Representative Abu Kamara saying that they asked Abu for 1,000 and he refused to give the 1,000. That is the reason why they gave him F. They say he did not speak. For God's sake, these people are in session and they have videos. When was the last time you were watching any live from the House of Representatives, you saw Representative Abu Kamara speaking? If you want to know who is Abu Kamara, just for description's sake, he's bright in complexion and he's you know, he has a very
you
big
could upload his
body.
photo. You could put a photo so that people can see a photo.
Yeah, I will upload a photo later just for them to
Then
see.
I ran again. Tell you read.
Yeah, the man who ran against Stella Ure. If you ever saw him one day in Central speaking,
brutalized her home.
Yeah,
The home that she was in. People were caught up. Women were caught up in a house.
yeah, it was just. I'm talking. Just send me a picture so I can just upload it quick. Send it me through WhatsApp.
So Jim, but just on that point, to tell you that the people take down record, the lawmakers that they claim spoke higher, they even count how many times they spoke. Let's say that they don't say he spoke 275 times, followed by Milton TJ that spoke 269 times. So if you spoke one time, they will mark it. So why would make someone to say you want money from you?
And again, these people who are doing the marking, they are assigned at the legislature just like the way we as journalists are assigned.
One thing, I don't know whether we heard it. Did you break? I know I heard CDC. I heard it. Did you break it down by lawmakers across the board, by party?
All of the institutions have their.
I will drop a report in the chat room.
I do.
I will drop it in the chat
room. I'm not sure if it was the one that we have. We have a synopsis of it. It's not broken down by parties.
Yeah, there's a PowerPoint
just
presentation of it, and I just summarized it.
And hopefully when I read it, I'm going to follow up with it. When I read it, I hope that it's not just saying boo. It's what you say. I'm more about sometimes substance and how you fought for different laws, how you voted for it. I want to know those things. But because some people can just go there and just cause noise and talk and don't amount to anything. But if you are contributing in a meaningful, substantial way, asking good questions, then I really would want to emphasize that as, yes, you did something for the Liberian people. You contributed to our lawmaking. So yes, I'll follow up with it. I'm sure we all will. And then we'll know better to let the Liberian people know. Anything else? Good day. You muted or?
Basically, Aaron said, that's it. Besides the issue that happened in district number 10, and I think Representative Yeka Koluba may likely be joining you people anytime during the show
that'd be good
to talk more about it. But the lady said that true that her number, but her phone got missing.
And I think it would be great to have Honorable Yeka Koluba.
Yeah, so that's what, and I think you have the guest in the back.
Okay, all right. Definitely.
Sunda, I hope I got her name right.
Yes, Miss Wilson. So I want to just let Liberians know, like all of those who are running for a political office, you can always come to Spoon to spread your message to the rest of the Liberian or to your district or to your county. Spoon is widespread in the country. It is an integral part of Liberians' people's life. I can tell you, when I'm in the country, sometimes it's even difficult for me to go outside because people recognize my face and my voice. My voice, actually, a lot of people tell me is the voice that they recognize more than anything else. So that tells me how significant Spoon is in Liberia. It's a bedrock in our country. So this is the place to come to spread your message. If you are interested, you can kind of inbox any one of the panelists that you are interested in using Spoon to spread your message, tell your Liberians, speak to your Liberian people. And what we'll do is just transfer the information to the business office in Liberia, and you guys will take care of all of the business part from there. I'm going to actually ask panelists. I want to welcome panelist Hussein Fadiga to the show. I'm also going to ask him to please welcome our guest, Miss Wilson, to the show. We're going to bring her in. I'm sorry. You muted.
In here though.
She's not back. She could just say she's in the back.
Can you bring her?
Bring her in, please. Yes. Hello. Hello, Miss Wilson.
Hello.
It is very good to see you. I'm glad that are you coming to us by way of Nimba? Are you in Nimba?
Yes, I'm currently in Sanikule, district number 2.
Yes, it's always a pleasure to hear other people coming from other parts of the country because Monrovia has been such a central location. Everything is Monrovia, but now it's good to hear that other people are coming to speak to Liberians, your district, by way of Spoon. So I'm going to ask Fadiga a little bit to talk to you. Welcome you as well.
Well, Sonia, for some of you that don't know this, Sonia and myself go way back. Let me just make the story short. Back in the days, during our refugee days, we started up at IRC as working with the unaccompanied minor program. So
International Red Cross?
The International Rescue Committee.
Rescue Committee, okay.
Yeah. So it's IRC. It's a big non-profit, and we're working with the unaccompanied minor program. So she was one of our program officers. I think we got hired around the same time. Yeah. So she was based in the office, and I was on the field, of course. And we identified Liberian children that were in refugee camp. You know, during the war, a lot of those children got missing, separated from the parents. They ended up in different families across the border. So they were trafficked and all. So we identified them and we reunited them with the family through the Red Cross and the UN. So it was a very good program. And at that time, I think it was the first time I got introduced to really computer, you know, working on computer. We're doing our thing in the office there. And she ended up being our database, I think. Wow. And she has been brilliant. I follow her all along. I think she can sell herself better, but I think in the last time you went to law school, right? I think she went to law school. So she has been brilliant since I've known her. She's always been this smart person, and, you know, strong iron lady. And when she said she was running for office, I'm like, well, kudos to you. I know you would do it. You're an iron lady. So there she is.
Yes. Miss Wilson, Sunda, right? Am I saying that correctly, Sunda? Sunda, I want to again welcome you to the biggest platform in Liberia, Spoon TV. It is an honor to have you here. I'd like to ask you to introduce yourself to your district, your people.
Okay, thank you so much, Hussein and Dr. Richardson, for welcoming me on your show tonight. It's a pleasure being here on Spoon TV for the first time. So, my name is Sonia Wilson. I am an attorney at law, but before I became an attorney at law, I hold a degree Bachelor of Social Work from the Mother Cartain College of Health Sciences, Stella Maris Polytechnic in Monrovia. I established the Special Emergency Activity to Restore Children's Hope, a governmental organization in Sunny Coast.
Yeah, she kind of pauses.
Yes.
Your network is kind of bad. I don't know.
Because I'm in Nimba, so we expect the
Yeah,
network.
well, you clear now. You get clear, and then you go. It's okay now.
Okay, it's okay, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so as I was saying, I established the Special Emergency Activity to Restore Children's Hope Search, a non-governmental organization in 1999 in San Nicolas City, Lima County. I was born here in San Nicolas City, and I've worked for Search for most of my life until the crisis when we had to travel to Guinea, where Hussein and I worked with the International Rescue Committee, the IRC on the unaccompanied minor program. I am an aspiring for the representative seat of District Number 2, San Nicolas, Nimba County. So
that's good. So my first question to you is, what do you hope to accomplish if you should be elected as a representative for District Number 2? What are some of your goals for your district if you should be elected?
Yeah, I have a vision for this district, a vision where the best interests of women, of girls, of children, of men can be achieved, where our people can have full participation in governance, where our people can have a say in issues that affect them and how they can participate in decision making. That's my vision. On my platform, women's empowerment, youth empowerment, education, health, social welfare, governance, budgetary issues, sports development. Those are part of the pillars of on my platform, so that people are given the opportunity, especially our youth. We know how much they've been distracted. I mean, there are so many youth who are now labeled as Zogos, and those people have to go through the process of rehabilitation. And there are other youth who are vulnerable and at risk as well, that at any time they can be withdrawn from what they are also involved with, their deviant behaviors. So rehabilitation as part of youth development is key to us. When we look at the sports development aspect, we are not looking at only soccer, we are looking at other sports that we see people leave from Liberia, other countries to go to the Olympics. Normally, Liberia is underrepresented because we do not have wide range of sports activities that we engage our youth. For women's empowerment, we are looking at long-term development goals, especially giving them the skills that they need. Normally, we have 6 months training programs that are not sustainable, that people don't really learn, but we need long-term skills training program for women who cannot, who have not had the opportunity to the walls of high school, completing the full level of education. So they need a non-formal form of education where they can develop themselves and be able to contribute to the growth and development of our society. Also, giving women loan access to funds that they're able to improve the livelihoods of the family. We have so many groups nowadays into the village, saving the VSLA in communities. But how sustainable is that as well? So if we have a loan scheme where women can go and get grants, or they can get loan and be able to improve their businesses, both into agriculture and other forms of businesses that can have returns to be able to support the families, be able to support the children. They can be able to access adequate health services because they have to pay for drugs at hospitals when they have a family or a relative hospitalized, where they can be able to be empowered enough to be able to take charge of themselves and of their families, and will pay the children's school fees as well. On governance, we looking at issue of of accountability and transparency, and we are passionate about intergenerational equity, where resources will be left for the generation after us, so that we don't eat everything we have now. We don't consume everything we have now, but we have reserved for the generation that comes after us. So I'm sure you wanted to say something, so I will take a break and allow you to go ahead.
Oh, no, I just wanted to tell you thank you so much for answering my question. I can see your experience at RSC is coming through, your vision for making your district better. I'm going to go to Hussein to ask you his question, and then we will go to Mr. Johnson. I also want to welcome you to the show today. So Hussein, can you please ask Ms. Wilson your question?
Yeah, Sonia, I'm not going to give you a soft landing, though, so don't. I just messing with you. But I'm glad to see you again.
We're not giving you a soft landing.
I haven't seen you for a while now, but I have no doubt in your ability to lead. I listen to the kids. You talk a lot about youth and the kids, and I know something we have worked for many years, and I know how passionate you were. Specifically to the children in Nima County, what are some of the things that are really that you want to be focused on? I know you said sport and other things. What are some of the major challenges that those children are having right now, and how will you address those challenges? Also, what
education is a challenge for us here in Liberia. It's not unique to Nimba. access to adequate education to its fullest, not just going to school, not going to empty classes sometimes, but going to school where you have access to learning and learning materials, and the teachers have teaching materials as well. So education is a challenge for our children here, access. We have communities or towns that are crowded, that have that communities that have those population, that have a good population of children, but they have to leave from one community to another to be able to access education. And education should be accessible to everybody, no matter where you are. So if you are in a remotest village, there should be a school, there should be teachers. But that is not the case. So because of that, many children are denied access to education. Okay, and parents do not also afford to send their children to private school, for example, because you have public schools so crowded.
Make to get to, how do you intend to make that happen? Through legislation or budgetary? How do you intend to get that to work?
There are two ways. There are two ways you can work at that. The first thing is to legislate access to education for everybody wherever they are, every community. So if you have this community with certain number of population, there should be high school from elementary up to high school. Okay, so that should be legislated, and then once it's legislated, you have a budgetary allocation in place for that. Okay, so in education, we're not talking about just education from the primary level. We're looking at early childhood development that is lacking. So you have children who do not have, who have to wait at a certain age. They have to wait at age 3 or 5 or 6 to be enrolled in school. So the development stage is already hindered at that level. So access to education is key to our heart. It's something that we are passionate about, so that every child has access to education wherever he or she finds herself.
Thank you. Thank you so much. If you're just joining us, you are watching Spoon. We have an aspirant here, Nima Kante, aspirant here, who is basically telling her district and Liberians her message. Please share the show. We have Mr. Leo Johnson here who's going to ask her his question.
Thank you, and great to meet you as well, Sonia, as well. And I will say congratulations on your candidacy, first of all, and I wish you the best of luck as you continue to work towards a successful campaign come October in the elections. I think my question here is just more from a standpoint of how things are structured. Looking at someone like yourself who seems to come with more of a project mind. As I hear you speak, you sound like someone to me who sound like a project doer, get things done kind of person. For some reason, people tend to think that people like that's not supposed to be in politics, as if to say it's not the same type of planning you need for politics to be able to do things, right? So my concern is, I've heard some of the issues you've highlighted in terms of areas you would like to focus. I would like to hear two things. One, how are you going to navigate the complicated political landscape of Liberia when it comes to actually trying to run a campaign and trying to win on principles and like you said, on principles and tangibles and the things you want to do, which is a big challenge because our landscape has been, I will say it directly, corrupted for so long that nobody seems to listen to the tangibles when you're running. That's one. And the second piece for me would then be, how do you tend beyond what you can do as an independent legislator, whether it's on education in your district, whether it's on health, how are you going to be able to make an impact in the legislature itself when it comes to how they receive the national budget, how they appropriate funding, how they go about holding the executive to account in terms of oversight, lawmaking, and representation?
Okay, to your first question, is a challenge, as you rightly put it, It's a challenge talking to the people, engaging the people, because we have a population that has been fixated to handouts. So they see someone who is running as the problem solver, that you have all of the resources to be able to do everything at the same time. So it's quite challenging. I know that I may not be the only aspirant who's faced with that, especially the first time aspirant. Howbeit, we are talking to the people and we telling them our story. It's about telling them our story, where we've come from, where we've been, and where we are headed. And that we can only head there with their support and with everyone on board. So this is what we were telling them. And we also, as much as possible, educating our people on what the role of a legislator is, about those roles and responsibilities that a legislator has, so that it's not someone who has everything, but together someone who represents you at a place, at a particular time, who carries what you want, who says what you want at the national level, so that budgetary allocations are made to be able to address the issues faced within a community, within a particular community. As an independent legislator, when I get there, I'm going to lobby with colleagues, share our platform with them, and I'm sure every well-meaning Liberian who's going to be at the 55th legislature, who wants Liberia developed, who wants Liberia improved, who wants Liberia to the dignity of Liberians in Liberia to be restored, I'm sure we'll be able to listen and adhere to our platform. That's why we are pushing that we have like-minded individuals who can work together to restore dignity and hope for the Liberian people.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Again, you are watching Spoon Talk. We have District Number 2 aspirant Sonia Wilson here speaking to us. She is sharing her message and her vision about how she's going to contribute to developing her district in Nima County. So Sonia, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly here.
Yes, Linda. Yeah.
It's okay. Good. So, what makes you different from your opponent? I think it's Prince Topa, if I'm recalling correctly. Why would you beat him flat and fairly? Why would you beat him?
Yes, I'm different because I come with a better style of leadership. I have worked with my people for 24 years. I have, to some extent, contributed to the growth and welfare of our people, providing employment for young people in Nima, up to around 300 Liberians and other Liberians, from Sanikole to across Nimba, to Granjide, to River G, to Maryland, to Moserado, and to Cape Mount County. So I have provided that leadership, and I've restored hope, as my institution name states, restore hope. And we restore hope for a lot of young people. I come with a platform that talks about awake or kwawole imano. The awake is the action for women, youth, and children, adequate representation, keeping the peace and empowerment of our people. And that awake is tied to the vision of our forefathers, especially with tribute to Honorable Jassy F. Doe, who talked about the Nima people, who told the Nima people to wake up for leadership. So we're here today propagating the vision of the wake of Kwawule, the involvement of everyone. It's not based on selfish goal, It's not built on amassing wealth for ourselves, but it's based on changing the dynamics in politics, ensuring that young people, ensuring that women, ensuring that men, ensuring that everyone participate in the growth and development of our county. So I come with a different style of leadership. I've been into advocacy, ensuring that the resources in our county, that people have access and they have better returns for that. I don't know a history of that of our lawmaker you just mentioned, the honorable man. So my style of leadership, I come with the experience, I come with an appreciable level of education, and I'm a woman also. So that makes me stand out.
That was bold. I like that.
I see you. Oh, I can see you.
Legacy is very biased towards female candidates here, just so you know.
I know I have plenty of you on the shoulder.
Yes, thank you so much, Ms. Wilson. We're going to go to Mr. Fadiga to ask the next question. We have you until about another 10 minutes. And then we're going to go to Leo Johnson before we roll over into our regular spoon talk conversation. I just want to throw out there, if you're aspirant running for a senatorial position or a representative position, please come to Spoon here to give your message, your vision for your district or your county. We have, as you can see, how informed our panelists are. Our job is to help spread, give their message out, help you, ask you questions that the regular Liberians will be asking you. So I will then turn over to Fadiga to ask Ms. Wilson.
Sonia, I knew you when you were GPA before you became Wilson. Sorry, I missed that wedding. But I know you have always been this ambitious person. When did that click to you that you had to represent your people? When did that vision come to you? And what is the motivating factor for that drove you to that direction? You got tired of it?
Yeah, well, sometimes. Well, I've always been a leader. I've led from the church, from my school days, and in my community. So I've always been a leader, and I've led a lot of people at the institutional work. We worked together in IRC. Remember the story how I got employed? We wrote the test, and then I was asked, instead of being a volunteer, I was asked to work at the office as a program officer. So that was also a manifestation. However, in 2020, my brothers, sisters, and friends from NIMBA, from the district number 2, who are based in Monrovia, invited me to one of our GB sessions, as we normally have in Monrovia. And I didn't know, and surprisingly, I was gowned by my peers. Imagine that. And they called that ceremony at that time a request for petition. So they requested me to be petitioned to represent our district this year at this year's election that comes up in October. So when they told me that, I told them, well, I have to go back home and consult our elders and listen to them and hear what they have to say about that. So I came back to Nimba, to Sanikole, and talked to some of our elders, and they said, but that's true. We've been thinking about that, but it's good that your peers, have given you the mantle of authority. They have asked you to lead them. So we support you. And I got back to them and said, this is a huge task. I do not have the resources. I rely on all of you to be able to provide me the resources. So they've been supporting me in the back. They've been having some fundraiser. I think they had one last year in the United States of America. And also last year in December, there was another fundraiser here in Liberia. So this is a call of the people. As is normally said, the call of the people is the call of God. We now wait for angels to come down from heaven to give us the message, as was done to Mother Mary. So if my peers can ask me to be petitioned, I accepted that, and we are on course with that. So the Me Petition program, it will be coming up, but that's where it began. They saw it in me and they requested that, and they have confidence in me, and I cannot dash the hope of a generation of people who have asked me to lead them.
Thank you. Next question, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, again, thank you so much for your engagement. I want to preface my question by saying this. You know, when we're growing up, I always hear our parents and old people telling us that, oh, politics not for you. You don't put your boy in politics. It's for the rich people cheering, for the PB people cheering. They always used to actually say that. But in other words, they were saying the risk and dangers and everything involved with it is so grave that they're trying to let you know if your family does not have. And that's how politics was introduced to them. I mean, for a very long time, it was like this very elite thing. If you're not part of a certain class, you cannot. I'm saying this to say I'm really pleased to hear someone like you not just being well-spoken, but I've been watching the comments and the number of people who have testified to knowing you and what you stand for. There is no better testament to the quality of a person that you are and a candidate than that. Because usually when you come on these shows is where you get scrutinized with over 3,000 people watching you tonight, almost 4,000 people watching you tonight. And it's been overwhelming people who are giving personal accounts of saying, oh, I know you, good luck, you represent. I think for me, that's a good, if you wanted to do a survey, a quick survey to ask yourself how you've impacted people, that's good. And I'm so pleased that you're running, and I'm hoping that this will inspire other great citizens of Liberia who are working so hard, but think that the political arena is so corrupt and so discouraging that they don't even want to bother participating. My question to you is, win or lose, because for me, it doesn't matter when I see quality people run. It's not about winning or losing at this point. It's about what you've brought to this discourse, regardless of the outcome. What will you tell a lot of other women out there, young and old alike, who have stayed away simply because for them, this is too destructive? It's a men's word. It's been a very, we lost that.
Oh, go ahead, ask the question.
Oh yeah, my question was, what kind of message I wanted her to speak to young women and older women alike as to what made someone like her to brave all of the risks and dangers associated with women running for office in Liberia, especially if they haven't been associated with the political class. What motivated her so much, and what can she say to other women? What can they look up to and dig into to not give it up and neglect the space because of all of the issues that we see going on there? That was really the question.
Let me say something about
That's
Sanda.
a great question.
Yeah, let me say something about Sanda. I got to know her like what, I think 2000, the early part of the 2000 when we're in Guinea, and I saw this younger version of what you saw right now coming in, and I saw this she a petty lady, she's short, and she came in the office. We all everybody hustling at that time in refugee camp trying to find something. I started as a volunteer too at RSC UAM, and she had just come. But this girl was so smart that the program manager, we just could not let her go. And she had that real command and control. She was always in control, very something. So the next year, look, she was a program officer. Program officer in most of those NGO, those are like, it's not like top.
It's a very powerful. It's a very powerful.
You know that it's a very powerful position. And, and she came right off the bat. We started together. She was a program officer. And next thing, she was handling database, and we're all on the same. I was like, what can I get you? But she proved herself. She did prove herself that she was smart. And when we all came to the stage, she went to Liberia. I followed her for over the last couple.
And Fadiga, to just add to what you're saying, qualification in politics, people always say, oh, no, there's no special school to go to or whatever. No, there's a special type of thinking and a special level you need to be at to dissect the sophistication that comes in politics. Because in Liberia, we think anybody can just be that the reason our politics has been dumbed down. So when I hear her, someone who comes with that type of mind, who can think, who can plan, who understands what it takes to accomplish one task, or the 20 steps that needs to go in place to successfully complete a task. Not somebody who just wake up in the morning and say, y'all know what, tomorrow we want the legislature to start having microphone. So y'all go tell the people, let them bring microphone. Someone who
she has a vision. And she have lived it, yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
She's been, yeah. She's back. I think
she's back. So to complete my question, I was saying, I wanted you, based on the premise that I gave, what message will you send to young girls, young women, older women alike, as to what did you dig into finally to put yourself forward despite all of the challenges and I would say dangers also involved, especially for women? What message do you want to send tonight to women who have decided that place is so corrupt, it's so dirty, it's so dangerous? I would just stay in my corner, a very excellent one. So what will you tell them tonight as someone who have decided to venture forward?
I will encourage my friends, my sisters, my daughters, my moms, my aunts, that decision making is not about whether you're a woman or you're a man. Decision making is for everyone. And we have a lot of educated women, experienced women. All we need is that we should have very high self-esteem and have the courage so that we can get into leadership. It takes a lot of courage. People are afraid to get politics because of fear itself. Fear that you put at risk your children, your family members. But decision making, as I said, is not one-sided. It should come from both sides. Man, woman's view of an issue. So if we have a balance in decision making, we can make the best decision. You know, always we make reference to other countries because of the best practices, like Rwanda. We have many women in parliament. We have they've raised the bar for all of us, and we see how they are today. So I want to call on my fellow women or females out there who want to make up their mind, that they should make up their mind, that they should see what we do. They should be courageous. They should join other women to campaign as well, to join engagement. Like my team is headed by a female. My chairperson and co-chairperson are females. They're all females. So we bring ourselves so that we give courage, so that we give hope to other people, so that we make other people to rise up to the girls, to see us, and to muster the courage that they too can be leaders as well, not only men. It's unfortunate for us in Limba that it's been very long years, many years now, that we have not had a female legislator. We have all males. If you see our county authorities, we don't have, since Madam Ida Goguno was there in 2010, we have not had a female superintendent as well. We have a couple of city mayors who are females. So, I mean, women are always kept in the back. So now is the time that we all walk side by side, as the song says. We should walk side by side and be able to strike the balance so that we have a representation. We have the voice of the people balance in what you do. So, Mr. Johnson, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, actually, I'm enjoying listening to you that I can't even bring myself to formulate a question for you. And I'm not being biased. Usually, I try to ask. I'm not being biased.
You're being biased. Yeah, I'm glad Talamatu have been worse.
Yes, I did ask her, you sound like you have a vision, a plan. I like the fact that you mentioned you work with a team of women serving as a mentor. That's so important. That women mentor other women, and knowing that how this political space sometimes can be very challenging, but you mustering the courage to press on. And you strike me as, I was thinking as you were speaking, I read a report came out today was speaking about that before you came on the show. And I'm looking at you and wondering, is she going to be one of those people who's going to talk in the legislature? And I'm getting that sense that you are. You're going to speak your mind. You're doing it here. You're not going to be quiet, you know. And I think that's what it's not just talking for talking's sake, you know. Even if you're talking for talking's sake, when you let your opinion out.
And the thing is, she's highly opinionated. If you don't know that about Sonia, she will tell you what's on her mind. So,
well, that's good.
So they're going to get piece of her in that legislature.
And just to add
one last question.
Dr. Richardson, just to add to what you were saying, it's even one thing to be able to speak your mind and be opinionated, but it's another thing to be strategic in understanding how to formulate things to bring it forward for particular outcomes. I think that's where we struggle in our legislature. A lot of people that saying the right things, advocating for the right things, but where they fall short, the ability to then formulate it in a way that allows you to get to the outcome, I think that's where they fall short. So what they do is they talk. Everybody say, yes, you're saying the right thing. But when you don't have the ability and mindset to say, okay, now how do I formulate this to get an outcome? And most of them can't even tell you what outcomes they're really looking for. They are highlighting the problem, but what kind of outcome you're really looking for? And just listening to you, I don't know you before. I've never met you, but as someone who works in a result-oriented world, I can already tell when people who got that type of approach and attitude, when they talk, you can tell very easily.
I got one last question.
Before you go to your last question, before she make her closing comment, you would be the last person to ask a question. I was just going to add that you started off saying, I have a vision for my district, okay? And I'm going to share my vision with other people. That's a strategic way of approaching an outcome that I want, okay? I'm going to share my vision with other people. I'm just not going to hold it to myself. I'm going to make sure that everybody knows what I'm working towards accomplishing here. And I'm going to find out how can they help me or how can I help them get what I want for my district. And when I heard that, I said, wow, that's impressive. Go ahead, Father God, ask your last question, and then we'll have Ms. Wilson give her closing comments.
All right, this is a political question. I see that you're running as an independent. Most people want to join with the big guys. We got the MDR in that place. We got other things going on. We got different CPP and something. Why did you choose to be independent? You just want to do your own thing and don't want to be bothered or what?
I don't want to do my own thing. I want to do the people's thing. It's about the people. It's not about me. It's about the people. It's about the change that I want to bring. Mr. Johnson, I followed him a lot. I follow his project at Painesville Town Hall, which is going to be the first of its kind in our republic. I too have another vision for my district. Sometime last year, I was in Johannesburg for a month, and I had the opportunity of interacting with someone who heads the Innovation Hub in Pretoria. So from our conversation, we have a space here in Nimba that I also intend to have an innovation hub. So that's a vision. You asked whether I want to be, why an independent candidate. I haven't been a member of a political party before. I know that political party, you know, to be a political party, a full member of a political party, and to run a political party's ticket, I feel that it should be a process. It's not because I'm running today or I'm going to run tomorrow and tonight I go and subscribe membership to a political party. That is disservice to people who have paid the dues to their political party. Because of that, I have my independence. That doesn't mean that I don't work with other people, I don't collaborate with other people, but people who share my value, who share my dream, who share my aspiration, and we can work together. Because at the legislature, you cannot do everything by yourself. You need other people, you need a team of like-minded people who have a shared vision, who share a particular value that can work together. So as is, I do not have the resources like I told you. I rely on my constituents, both in Liberia and in the diaspora, to be able to support this aspiration that we have. Equally so, not because I have to be a part of, you ask MDR, NC, CDC, etc. I've never been a part of them. So I maintain my true identity as Sonda Sonia Wilson, and my people know what I've done before, and they know what I can do, and they know who I am, who this person is. This is why I'm maintaining my independence.
Thank you.
Because I don't need to. Because I think that just going today and joining a political party because you have a group of people behind you, I feel it's another form of corruption as well. It's not good for those who have been a member of a political party.
What you said yesterday.
And then overnight, I just jump into everything and create this unity.
And they said a political alliance.
We're trying to unify people. We're trying to unify people because when we are united, we achieve a whole lot. But if I get into a party instead of achieving this goal, and then it becomes a big divide, then you have two groups of people. Or the political leader brother will more yell, or the other person brother will more yell. They more not in our party before. And you know why I'm talking? We know we've been around. We haven't been a part of a political party, but we've been listening to what has happened in the past. People go to primaries and there is violence. Okay? Primaries end up in violence, and people are wounded. People even get killed.
When all the strangers then show up and the people say
because one stranger comes from the sky, from the blue sky, and just jump into everything and scatter everything instead of holding it together. So you see, and there is this divide. So I am an independent candidate. I'm not afraid to say that. I know it's cost intensive. I'm a believer as well. So I know people listening to me and my friends who are giving the support will support this cause till we achieve the ultimate goal, which is to get at the legislature. Thank you.
So, can I, Dr. Regis, can you indulge me to do something quick?
Please do.
You know, when you make a nice post about Liberia or something you're doing in Liberia, something great, and a lot of people come there, wow, this woman is brilliant. This is good for Liberia. Good luck with everything. You just heard her. It's intensive, it's costly, it's expensive. If you really believe the thing you wrote, Jenna, that she's so brilliant, you like her already or whatever, you can support financially. And nothing is small, by the way. $5, $10, $50, $100, $1,000. I'm saying it purposely. I'm being biased because, in my opinion, I've said it. Every time I see candidates in Liberia running who I feel are competent and qualified, I don't support people because they will win. I support people because they are qualified and I feel they are competent, whether they will win or not. I got to answer to my children why I supported somebody. So I can vote directly in your district because I know my district, I know where I live, I'm from. I will start by pledging $100 to your campaign. I will message you. I will message you directly to figure out how we can actually move it over. It's my vote of confidence for the encouragement for seeing someone like you step up to the plate. And like I said, win or lose, congratulations.
Thank you, Neil Johnson. You can find Sonia on Facebook. She has a Facebook page. I was able to track her down and learn a little bit more about her. So you can message her as well. And
do you have Sailwave number?
Yes, I do.
Asking if you can give it to people.
Makula Lama say I would like to support her. So a lot of people, you got a lot of support here already. I was working there with some of these people too. I know Makula very well. She's been very supportive.
So this is great. Aspirants and people who are running to be elected as senator or representative. Again, we ask you can come to Spoon. You see, Sonia has done a wonderful job just telling her message to her district, what she's going to do for Liberia and for her district. Note that we're very female friendly, very women friendly on this platform as well. So Miss Wilson, I don't know if you have a minute to just tell us goodbye. Please go through the comment section. It's another way of you engaging with your people. So you have like a minute to just tell us your closing comments.
Okay, I want to say a big thank you to the Spoon family for allowing me to come on this big platform tonight for the first time, to be able to share my dream and aspiration with the people of Liberia and the people of the world. Just to make one comment as to Hussein's question on independence. Let me tell you that there are other people from political parties that are also supporting me, who are member of our team. But our team, because we embrace everyone, so it's good. We embrace diversity, and so it's good for us. I would like to say thank you so much. We are calling on our people who are here in Liberia and listening to us that they should take advantage. They should go to register. We know the process is a bit slow. It requires patience, but the only way you can exercise that right that you have is to register and be able to vote. I want to call on my supporters, and I want to say many thanks to all our people for the wonderful comments. I'm fired up to do more. We're going to move with the ties. We're going to keep the faith and courage, no matter what. Some of those things we receive in box, we're not deterred by that. Those are distraction. We're going to keep our focus, and we're going to get at the end. So I called on everyone who listened to me tonight and wrote all of those encouraging comments. That thank you, keep it coming, keep it going. Support us in any way you can. And I tell you, we remain accountable to our people because they are supporting us. I want to also say a big thank you to my team in the United States there, and also to my colleagues at Daughters of the Mountain, who are also supporting us as well. They gave us a brand new motorbike the other day, and we want to say thank you so much for that support. It means so much to our campaign. So thank you so much for Liberia is all that we have. We go places.
The number you put in the chat is wrong, just to remind you, but go ahead.
Okay, we go places and we see beautiful places. We go out of the country, we take beautiful photos in other people's land. And I tell you, here in Liberia, our land is fertile. We can plant some of those trees, some of those flowers here, and make our land very beautiful as well. We can use the little resources that we have and make Liberia what it should be. Thank you so much for the time and appreciation, and thanks so much for all those.
Let me tell you my own contribution now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say $300. This is just the taste, not even the word, just so they can be warming up. So $300 from my end.
Great.
Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. We wish you a lot of success in this journey. And I pray that all goes well for you. I'm sure we'll hear from you again. So thank you for joining us. And if you're just joining us, we've been talking to Sonia Wilson. She is an aspirant for District number 2 in Sanikole, Nima County.
Dr. Regency.
Yes.
Can you say something in Mano Agio?
Really?
Or in Rusty?
Really? You rusted that there, sir. Sonia can say that for me.
I can say that for you.
Thank you very much. That sounded beautiful, very beautiful. So we'll have you again. I'm sure we're gonna see you again. So thank you for coming.
Dr. Regency, finish. Go ahead.
Yes, make sure that you please go through our viewer comments. A lot of positive comments for you, and I will respond to them. And some of them are asking for a mobile number. Please inbox them, and you guys can also inbox Sonia as well to let her know that you support her. But thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. Good night. Good night.
Johnson, Leo, did you have?
Yeah, I just want to clarify and provide this disclaimer. Spoon Network is not fundraising for candidates. This is a Leo Johnson personal thing he did. And Fadiga also did his personal thing. Yeah. In fact, I am a guest panelist on the Spoon Network. I don't mind thoughts and desires. Spoon have said it clearly. Don't reflect Spoon's position as a guest panelist. I made a conscious decision to do that. And any one of you who want to make sure to do that as well, please, you are free and welcome to do that. This is not a Spoon Network decision. I'm not part of the Spoon management. Neither do I have the authority to put anything up on behalf of Spoon Network.
Yeah, yes. Makula, I see a couple of people say, I know a couple of the people that want to donate, and I will inbox them as well.
Yes, I just wanted to clarify also, we open our network to people who are currently holding senatorial and representative positions. They can come and spread the message. We're government friendly, we're women friendly, we're people friendly on Spoon Network. So if you have a message for Liberians and you want to speak to many, I'm hearing echo. I don't know what it is. Yes, and you want to speak to many Liberians, this is where you should come. You can inbox any one of us on this program. Will send you to the business office like Sonia did. She actually went and spoke to someone in the business office, and this is how come she came here tonight. So thank you, Sonia, for being here, and I wish you luck. We're going to move on to our regular Spoon Talk. Again, we didn't get an opportunity to welcome our audience specifically just because, we had a guest on the show tonight. But we have a series of topics, as we usually do, that we're going to engage in tonight. But before we do that, I'm going to ask our Fadiga and Leo Johnson to just go ahead and make their opening comments as we move on with the show as scheduled.
Well, since I'm on the top, let me go first. Well, I got a lot of things on my mind. The first thing is I saw this protest going on at the transport ministry, and I listened to the lady and I almost cried. Twerk him all with the harmonization. Look, when I worked in Liberia during the Taylor time, I used to work for MBI. Sometimes we work 6 months, we barely get paid. I don't know how we survive, but somehow we survive. We barely got paid, and I think it was like 50 or 60. Can't remember, but it was very low. Ellen Kim, she managed to at least give our people livable wage. I listened to one of the protesters at Transport Ministry. She said that they used to make $300. Pray tell me, $300 is barely enough for you to survive in Liberia. So they used to make $300. At least you know that you can live at a low middle class, do something at $300. Samuel Twer and his homeboys came and they brought this harmonization scheme. I would call it redistribution of wealth. I think it was just an opportunity to hire more parties and put them on the payroll, and then use it as a voting stuff over the head. Oh yeah, you control them because they say, and the lady said,
and loyalty to the person who hired them. That's the conclusion.
That's what happened. So they blow the payroll with a bunch of partisan. They reduce it to $150. Can you imagine that? They say it's harmonization. The understanding that we got for this harmonization was to reduce the salary disparity. In the US, they call it pay grade. They pay you according to citizens. So what Samuel Twer explained to me back in the day when I met him, he said the harmonization was just to reduce salary disparity. I didn't know it was massive salary reduction. That's why they sold to the people that, some people janitor making $20 to the other place, some people making $50 to the other place. They want all of them to make the same amount. What those guys did was they called it, in fact, some people making $90. That's why one of the lady was saying they can barely afford to pay the student school fee and pay for basic necessity. I saw the president the other day talking about, they inserted $6 million in the budget so that they can increase it because of election time. That is evil. When you're stealing all those millions of dollars and the bare minimum you can give it to your people, what kind of greediness is that? Ellen, you see that what I'm telling you about good leadership? It got nothing to do with partisan. When you get good president, you don't even need to be a partisan to enjoy. Ellen was president. She did not get everybody everything for money trickle down. We have foreign direct investment. Even when you get that company that carry in the country, something you will benefit for it. That's why you choose good president. You don't choose someone because you're from the same Grand Cook County, you're from the same region. Because good president will bring goodies to the country directly or indirectly. You will benefit. But you guys, so I was very, it was all women at transport, and transport generate a lot of money. That was one thing that I saw was discouraging. Another thing too, there are some training issues, and this will take some time. I will keep it for my second round of thought to say. But I thought that was one of the things that was very disturbing, and I wanted to talk about. My other thought I was saving for my next start. Yeah.
All right, thank you. If you just join us, Honorable Yeka Kolba joined us, and he's going to tell us and give us some first-hand information about a text that was actually mentioned when Good Day and Aaron Kuban was telling us what is happening with the registration process in Liberia. So I'm going to go to Leo Johnson to do his opening comments, and then we're going to move on to Honorable Yeka Kolba. I will actually charm in to give my opening thoughts. And then we're going to go on to Yeka Kolba, who's going to then explain to us what happened at the registration center and the text message that he has in his possession. Go ahead, Leah Johnson.
Thank you, Dr. Aitchison. And what's on my mind is, again, corruption in Liberia is on my mind. A lot of people heard me yesterday when I said people getting together for the sake of the greed of power and to win elections at all costs is corruption. I wasn't speaking about alliances. Those are two different things. Alliances are when two people get together with a common vision and, and agree to work together to an outcome. That's an alliance. But if the outcome that you're working towards is for corruption, for you to personally get what you want at the detriment of the Liberian people, that is corruption. And in Liberia, we've normalized these things and say, oh, that politics. Imagine we've normalized the statement, politics that interest. What kind of statement is that? Politics is about governance. It should not be about your interest. It should be about the governance of the state, good governance and accountability and transparency. So my thing on my mind here is, I'll say it, even when we talk about the whole VP pick we were talking about, it goes to everybody. And in Liberia, everybody thinks they might protect their own person, even when the person is in the wrong. Look, let me remind you, you can scrutinize your person when they're in the wrong and still support them for the greater good because you know they are good and able to correct it. So those in the opposition say nobody might criticize the opposition because it means you'll be winning vote for CDC. Those in CDC say nobody might criticize CDC because you'll be winning vote for. Who told you that? In fact, you should be the harshest critic of your own because tomorrow that thing you're bringing is going to represent you. So if you're in the opposition, you, instead of worrying about what is CDC doing, what is CDC not doing, you're supposed to be scrutinizing yourself to show the difference between you and CDC. But no, you say because the opposition side, or when the opposition do something that is not right, when you criticize it, you hate the opposition. When the government does something that is not right and you criticize it, no. Some of us, I keep saying, will breathe a breath of fresh air in the Liberian political arena, where we might even put our hand up and say we support this person, and we will be the first to step up and say what this person did is wrong. And we are calling upon them to step up and do the right thing because that is what it should be. Just because I may be someone who say, I admire Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson is somebody who I adore, admire her. And Dr. Richardson goes out and does something wrong. If I know Dr. Richardson, I should be the first person to pick up the phone and call and say, Dr. Richardson, that thing you did is wrong. Because if I'm close to her, I would have earned that right to say, Dr. Richardson, this thing is wrong, it's not right. Come to the public, say Dr. Richardson made a mistake on this one, and we are going to call on her to try and we will even support her to correct it so that it is corrected. The example I will close on is with the legislature. Why do we still have a country where the legislators are paying their own staff? How is that not a seed being sown for corruption? Dr. Richardson, the government of Liberia is supposed to have a central repository for payments of salaries, so that no worker working for a legislator should ever worry whether somebody will cut their pay in half on their own accord or somebody will not pay them on time when the month ends. Legislators are not HR people. They're not supposed to be running their own HR departments. The Ministry of Finance or the Ministry of Labor, whichever ministry is concerned with payroll, should be the one responsible for government payroll. So if you work in a legislator's office, you work for the government. You're not working for the main private company. You are working for the government of Liberia. So your payroll should be at the central pay in the government system so that the legislator can be collecting $500 to pay the staff, but then they divide it into 3 and get a person $150. No way to account as to and tell the person, say, when you talk, we'll fire you. And the person want their job, they actually stay there. So when we're talking about corruption, we will go deeper. We will not protect our own corrupt people. Then we talk about other corrupt people. Let's speak at corruption across the board so that when somebody coming to ask for Dr. Richardson support, they know exactly what they're asking for and they know what they are obligated to do to earn that support.
Yes. Thank you guys very much. Just to say one or two words about what both of you are speaking about, the idea of legislatures paying their staff and the idea of harmonization. I think they both sort of create the room for bribing, okay? Because if you are your salary got cut and you can't afford to feed your family and you can't afford to eat and stuff like that. So to do your job, you will be asking for a small thing. And the same way, if you wait for a legislature to pay you, and our legislator got to pay you depending on how he feels of the month or the day or the time of the year, versus if we had a system in place that said if you are a civil servant worker, this is how much you're supposed to earn, and this is the quality and what it takes to get this into this position, then your salary will be upfront. It creates inconsistency in your performance, because if I'm getting paid this month and I don't get paid next month, why would I be loyal to a job? Why would I want to perform? I'm just there at the mercy of the senator or the representative, or I'm just there at the mercy of the government who harmonize to cut other people pay to hire me so they can say the government hired me, so I'll be loyal to that particular political party. It's like no commitment to the job, poor performance, lack of motivation to do your job. And so we wonder then why people are not performing at the level where our country is not moving forward and being growth oriented. All of these things can impact us. So I just wanted to
and Dr. Richardson, all the people who can say we don't know nothing about Liberian politics, you'll be sure the university where they can teach Liberian corrupt politics all by itself so we can learn it. Because politics is a global profession that we all trying to learn. But you keep saying, oh, you know nothing about Liberia. So when you find a school, you're going to let them
know. Okay. All right. Yeah, we are. This is Spoon Talk, your number one radio station, TV station, almost number one station in Liberia. I like to have, and you welcome, I'd like to have you welcome Honorable Yeke Koluba. Honorable Koluba, thank you for being here today. Look, you got a haircut. Are you looking shiny today?
Oh, yes. I'm getting old and older every day. So
look at that.
I need my gray hair to show.
Oh, okay. That want to
I'm older than you. I'm older than you 10 years. So.
Okay. Well, it looks like with all the stress we see that your district is under and you are under, you seem to be in good spirit today. This is, of course, you're not screener yet to Spoon. But tell us something. We saw a text message that's been going on, posting on Facebook. Tell us about it. What do you know about this text message?
Look, I'm in all the CDC chat room now with my numbers, with different numbers. The last time, so I put up something again from one of the chat room. And today, this morning, that message was posted in the chat room when the lady there were communicating with Moluba Molu, was sending messages to Moluba Molu on how they should bring people. Let me say good evening to my supporters, the people.
Thank you. You're on point. You're on point.
And all our supporters. This message is from a sedition. You know, we have been telling people that NEC is employing seditions. They said we've been lying. The messages were posted in one of the CDC chat room. I'm not going to say which one of them, because if I say which one of them, they will catch up. I mean, they'll catch yourself. So it was posted in the CDC chat room. And I was able to screenshot it from the chat room.
And do you mind if I read it to the public?
Yeah, please.
Yes. So this is from a person called Antoinette Ish Yancey, and she said, "Good morning, Chair Lady. Good morning, Chairman Molu. This is Antoinette and one of the NEC workers at Namua. Okay, she's describing where she's at Namua. The Muslim building at Register D, District 10. Please try and reach out to us so we can talk to our co-workers." So she's asking Malu to reach out to where she's working so they can talk to the people there so that they can be flexible I don't know what that means. What it means that they don't have to show ID. They can just produce the IDs with their first time. If you wanted to be flexible with people who come in to be first time voters and other people who want to register in our interest. I don't know exactly. This is why we have Yeke Koloba to explain more to us what she means by our interest. First, she's asking that he wants to call the people there, the NEC worker, so that they can be flexible with the first time voters and that they can talk to them about their interests. Let us use the internet too. By registering online, women bring all the old ladies and first time voters to D10 to register. So I guess she's sending a message to Molu. If this is her or this text is true, this was allegedly sent. And of course, Yeke Koloba said he intercepted this text message. She's asking them to bring all the old lady in and first time voter to D10, which is his district, to register. Okay, Mr. Koloba, can you explain more to us?
So I sent her photo in her CDC beret. Can Jim put it up, please?
A picture of who is supposedly Antoinette.
No, the picture of the one that's sending the message now.
Yeah,
yes, Antoinette.
Antoinette.
James, please put it up. I'll send no photos to you.
Well, let's be talking until
I'll say Honorable Koloba start. Why he getting it ready?
So what we want to show or what we want to tell our people here is the election in district number 10 have become the election of Republic of Liberia. I don't know what interest the government got in district number 10 that they want me out of the capital building at all costs. And it's very frustrating. I wrote election commission or communication. I attached all those photos to it. And I was opportune to be at the American Embassy today. I gave them some information also on this issue. They are aware. I'll be doing a formal complaint and attaching all those photos tomorrow. I will send it to the American Embassy, to our partners, so they can be informed. Because district number 10 election of voter registration will have to be extended because investigation need to be done. I learned that this Antoinette woman, some people talk to her, she say her SIM card or her phone got missing. But she used her phone. I used a lot of phone today to call her. I got evidence. And she used her phone to call Molba. Yeah, that's a photo at the center. Her photo at the center. Bring the one that she in our party beret. Okay. That's all in our party beret, the CDC beret. Yes, that's Antoinette. And that I registered to the team on the show. This woman sell liquor to the CDC party headquarters. This woman sell liquor to the CDC party headquarters. She's not a small person to the CDC party headquarters. When the issue happened today, after I got the information, I decided to carry the press there. I went along with the press. Me and the press, no security with me. We got down. I identified her and told the press to go live. I told her I got evidence on her that she was sedition, communicating with people. And that center was where all the MCC people registered. I sent no photos to people where the MCC people came on the registration. That center is where all this MCC people, the Memorial City Police registered in their full uniform. So this issue in district number 10 is getting very serious. The international community need to get involved with district number 10 because it's not okay for us. Any result from district number 10 would not be correct. Nobody will tell me, oh, for peace sake, no. For peace sake, don't correct it now. We can correct it for peace sake. Don't do things that are not right. And now I wrote Election Commission, myself took the communication there today. Myself took the communication to Election Commission today with all the evidence attached to it. So they can be looking for evidence. That woman called Molma Modu today on the phone that she got missing. She called people today on the phone, and I used people to call her today on the phone. I got all the evidence. So she said her phone got missing. Your phone got missing, but you talk to people from NDC today on your phone. I got her evidence. It got missing, but you're communicating with people from NDC today. It got missing, but you communicated with Molu today to tell him that brought people to attack you. It got missing, but you communicated with the police today. So how in the war your phone will get missing, according to you, but you communicated with people today, and that text message was placed in the chat room today? We need to be very serious. District number 10 have become Republic of Liberia, and they are wasting their time because I am re-elected already. We're just waiting for them to announce the election result. I am re-elected already. But we want to put the people on board. It's not only about Yeke. It's about the political parties. We got people in other places doing the same thing. Seditions are being employed in the system to cheat the system. This is wrong. You have done well, according to them. Why cheat the system? Why employ people to cheat the system? And this is about the opposition. This is about all other candidates that are running, that the CDC does not favor. You see what will happen to you people? If people do not talk, you will say the same way we don't talk in the capital building, we'll come to do it anyway. You people will be affected. And unless you know Leo talk about corruption, the House of Representatives is corrupt in hell. Let me tell you something today. We are corrupt in hell. We born corruption. The House of Representatives, the lawmaker, we born corruption. We feeding corruption. We putting clothes on corruption. So when you talk about the House do not have integrity when it comes to corruption. I'm saying we do not have integrity when it comes to corruption. I will be talking about corruption. Poverty, my budget is about $2.something million. Then we are the House, we are criminals. Not only criminal about roles. Now what the Liberian people living the way they are living. So we want to bring some of these things out so you can see it with evidence. I also sent some things to Jean Good Flomo, where Natalia Maggie carrying students, they are in line to register. They put using the Liberian money to get to power. We are using the Liberian money to get to power. Flomo Polo pictures out. That's the district number 1, Maggie Bikante. We got evidence. Go ahead.
Yes. Honorable, I just wanted us to take some time to ask you questions.
Okay,
if it's okay.
Then we'll get to the Maggie issue and some other evidence we got.
Okay, I also want to state that, as you said, Miss Antonia Yancey was contacted and she said that her phone was stolen, although you said that you went over to the site and she was calling others. She has denied being involved in this text message scandal. The allegation, she said her phone was stolen. She's promising to respond adequately to the allegation. All right, I'm going to go to Fadiga. Fadiga, could you please ask your first question to Honorable Yeke Koluba?
Honorable Koluba, I really admire your advocacy. Sometimes I see you struggling alone in this thing. I know you try to be generous and something, but are you getting support from the political leaders? Are they? I know you like to. You're not abrasive. You like to be politically correct. But are you getting the right support that you really need from the political parties?
Yes, I am.
All right. So let's assume. I know you say you want to win, but we saw McGill and those guys are bringing people. Some of those children in high school are underage. Is there anything that is being done to verify the age of those people? Because that's one of the things that I suspect that the CDC will be using with all this YFE and all those stuff. I knew there was an undertone to it. And when you start talking about McGill bringing in children, are they high school students that they are bringing to register?
Some of them are in junior high. And let me tell you something, Fadika. What they're doing is they got people to the centers that they carry no people to. They got seditions to those centers. It will affect the opposition community. This is going to affect the opposition community greatly.
The election has been decided already.
Yes.
Strategy?
Yes. Yes. Look, I got evidence that homes are being used after voter registration to carry on voter registration. But the people that I got it do not want to talk to the police. They do not want to talk to the justice minister. They want to talk to our international partners. When we get people when we get people that we can trust for the international community, you will hear a lot of things.
This is serious though. So that means, I mean, in a sense, the CDC can have almost 200,000 people just waiting to vote using that biometric system, and will be legitimate people. They may be underage, they may not just be the reputable, but they just got a group of people, real human beings, with fingerprint and everything in the system that are just going to flow to the polling station because nobody going to be
finished
at that time.
Finish.
Jeez. The election over.
Election finish.
Amen. I still want to have some hope, but I hear what you guys are saying. Let's go to.
They will have to cancel the whole voter registration. Let me verify with you. If not all right for the opposition. The election finished already.
It finished.
Mr. Johnson, your question, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson, and thank you, Honorable Koluba, as well. Good to see you as always, and thank you for the information you have provided. As I'm sitting here, I'm thinking in my head, going like, this is a lawmaker. This is a member of our House of Representatives. If anything, who should be more empowered in trying to make sure these kind of processes go well, but finds himself on the other side being a victim of the disorganization of our electoral process, which he's participating in. Honorable Koluba, let me ask you a very blunt question. If this issue is not taken care of, and let's say nothing is done to correct it or make sure the kind of situation don't happen, what is your last resort? And what are you going to do if nobody steps in and nothing is done to ensure this situation is corrected and things just go on the way, continue going on like that, and whatever happens? Do you feel helpless? Do you feel not able to do anything, or do you think there's something you can actually do?
Leo, let me tell you something. Sometimes I just want to leave this country, but a lot of people will be disappointed because people believe in me, the Liberian people believe in me. Sometimes, Leo, I just want to pack my bag, go lay down my family because it's very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. Now, I told our partners today, I said, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. I had 3 hours meeting to the embassy today. It's frustrating. I told them, you people got to get involved. You people have invested so much. And the process is going like this. What are you people thinking about? No, like Fadiga said, the election finished. Voter registration is the election. When you're going vote at the voter registration. We're going vote at the voter registration. It is not only in district number 10 they are doing it. Let me be very frank with you. They are doing it in a lot of districts. So the CDC can win this election. They're taking people that are 14 years old, taking them to the centers that they got influence over, and put just doing registration. Who are no control.
And this Dr. Richardson, Fadiga, all of you guys, if you guys remember when we started having this conversation, when I kept saying it's already late to conduct credible elections in Liberia, it's not possible because, first of all, when you are recruiting people who are supposed to be election workers, the type of vetting that's supposed to go in place in terms of their background, who they are, to make sure that you're not filling the system, is like doing jury duty.
Selection.
When you're doing jury duty and you're going on a case, the people take every precaution to make sure you find out nothing about that case. You don't see it anywhere. You are even barred if it's a sensitive case. You are even kept in a particular house that you don't watch TV, you don't read newspaper, none of it, because they don't want you to develop any idea of what's happening to play on your mind before you go make a decision. So if we are recruiting people to take care of such a sensitive process, like registering voters, people who are coming to be verified, using a new biometric system that we never used before in Liberia, and you had no verification of vetting process to know who they are, the same way we ask government official, the law says government official must resign. Not only if they want run, no, if they want participate in any political activity, they must resign their position 1 year in advance. If we put a high bar on government officials, then what about the people themselves who will be managing our data or so? And the biometric system that you're using to register, you're not using it to vote. So in other words, when you come to the voting booth, you have to put your fingerprint for us to verify that are you, or there will be a face scanner to scan. So anybody can take that ID card that look like it and show up to vote, because there's no way you can verify through a fingerprint system or a face scanner that's not true. I keep repeating this, and I'm not repeating it to scare anybody. I'm not repeating it because I spell doom or to criticize anyone, but it is practically impossible. Even if NEC wanted to be transparent and NEC had all the qualified people, it is impossible to prepare for elections and conduct it between now and October. That is not possible.
So, yeah, it's hard to talk. Really, really hard to talk.
And I just didn't know what to say.
No, it's really hard to talk because where are we? You know, we are in the middle of this process.
We are done.
That's our democracy. The people have not gotten their pay yet. NEC has not gotten the money. This was in the
American ambassador just actually reiterated that NEC is yet to receive their budget.
Exactly. I was just thank you, Leo. You just took the words out of my mouth.
But they got money to buy vote. They got money to buy vote. We got money to wrap private jet. 7 not taking pay. No nurses. No nurses are not taking pay. Yeah, how do they sustain themselves? How do they sustain themselves? You want it? No, we just tell them for the people to be beggars. Look how responsible people don't know how to beg. They learn how to beg. That I just say. Sometimes I get frustrated. I want to leave this country. But people are believing me. Their hope will be dashed. That I just say. I just want to go live to Ghana, live with my family, and leave these people and let them run the country the way they want the money.
We need you though.
Like I was telling my wife today, I said I'm frustrated. She said, "What happened?"
Honorable, I said, I want to leave. I know you met with the ambassador. What are the feedback you are getting from our foreign partner? Those that you're speaking with, what are they telling you?
I'm meeting with them. The meeting is not for the public.
All right.
So just for some clear, go ahead. Yeah,
all right. You don't have to say it, but is it positive? Is it you don't?
Well, the people want peace. The people want peace. They want a credible election, but it depends on how we want it to be. You know, the American government will not can say you're sitting like this. They will take some action by bringing sanction, by putting restriction on people. But they say you're doing. The people are looking at us. You remember they said I think that when they place the sanction, they say we should seize the movement. Did we seize the movement?
No, we did not.
Did we do that?
No.
No, I'm not educated. I'm trying to say something that maybe I try to remember. Did we seize the movement? We did not. We did not. You think the post seized the movement for us? Fadika, let me be very frank with you. I'm frustrated. I fought for 6 years. And the way things are going, you'll find out one day I will just pack my bed and gone. Let me be very frank with you. I'm frustrated.
In that district, so
I'm frustrated. I don't know where to turn. I don't know what to do. They put look at the election. They finish with the election already. Election is done already. It's done. What wasting our time for? Look at students in the land that honor 16 in the land. They got citizens carry on registration.
And
to put in centers that they got their partisans to.
And
what are we doing to this country?
So hang on, Leo. I just want to welcome Mr. Fakon to the show. You know, and then we're gonna go on to you, Leo, to ask your question, and then we're gonna come back in queue. Go ahead, Leo.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to reiterate the point. When people were talking about NEC went to the legislature, and, you know, we're arguing and having the conversation about NEC wanting their budgetary allocation to do their work. And when I kept saying we needed to see a report because it was late. If NEC is asking for their budgetary allocation now, that they haven't received it, it's late. And a report would have told me NEC is unable to prepare credible elections between now and October, even if you get them 100% of all the money that they need. And it's so easy in Liberia for people to shift the blame on the innocent workers. I'm saying innocent workers because they are just employees. You can fire them, right? It's easy. They are just employees doing a contract to get their job. And if you're not paying them, it makes it easier for anybody to actually bribe them. If somebody sitting at that place working whole day, they're supposed to get food, they're supposed to get allowance, and you not pay them. And somebody show up, call them on the side, and say, I can give you $5,000, so just do the piece of job for me. You think they're going to take it? Knowing that they're not even get paid because they're not even.
And you see what the election done? The election finished.
So second of all, I keep saying it, the low bar that we're setting even for NEC. that NEC just come here and cry and say, didn't get their budget, didn't get their budget. NEC gave us a report and a roadmap to show us if you are even able to conduct the election, even if today we wrote a check with 100% of your budget. But none of that is done. The only noise we're making, NEC might get their budget, and I promise you today, they write a check and give NEC 100% of their budget. It's impossible to resolve these issues and host a credible election in 6 months. It's impossible. You have to be some magician or some magical powers from God to be, because the deployment that was needed to have happened 1 year ago to ensure that these things would have been checked in the tracks was never done. And you can do that in 6 months.
Well, it sounds like they're going to conduct it, Leo, with what they have. And is it going to be a data with integrity? That's, it doesn't sound like it to me, because it doesn't sound like it's working on track. Things are slow. Number one, we also hearing the complaints that Yeke Koluba is suggesting that there are underage people who are not eligible to vote. People that he is hearing going to go get registered to vote. So these are very concerning issues, concerning thoughts. Honorable Fagon, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you being here today. I saw your challenge that you are experiencing earlier on in the chat room. We're just talking about Honorable Yeke Koluba intercepted a text message from someone who supposedly lost their phone, but someone else is supposedly using their phone to send a message to Chairman Walu to please send their people who have their interests to this voting registration place. Thank you. James is putting it up right here. Although Anthony Yense said she lost her phone and her WhatsApp line is still open. She lost it during the riot. So she's not sure who's using her phone to send this text message, if there is a text message that is out there. That's what she's saying. So I wanted to just know what your thoughts about what we were hearing here.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, the election was rigged before it was even started. The process was rigged before it was even started. And one should not be making a statement like this without providing facts. So let's provide some facts that supports our statement that we're making, that the election was rigged. The process was rigged before it started. One, lack of funding. So if you don't have money, how do you conduct an election? And up to now, you still don't have money. So are you crediting yourself or what? Two, our Constitution is very clear as to what the census says and what's the mandate of the Constitution. That you're going to have a census, it's mandatory, and you're going to do redistricting so that it reflects equal representation of the people. That has not happened. So that's point two. Point three, our people are not educated enough to biometrics. And under the laws of our country, the government has a responsibility to provide voters education. So the government failed to provide the education, therefore that's count three. Count four, like I said, since they failed to do the three, they have violated the law. And once you violated the law and proceed, then of course, anything that is not done right from the get-go or from the beginning cannot be right in the end. And if it's not right in the end, you cannot rule out fraud. You cannot rule out the fact that it's not credible. Now, having said that, let's come to Honorable Koluba. I feel your pain. I'm more frustrated than you, because you cannot have 22 political parties and one party dragging you guys around like flow rag. Let's say Bwaka in talk. So the other 21, what happened with them? Let's say Bwaka in pick or Kennedy or he says something. What happened to the other 20 political parties? Don't they know how to hold press conferences and what have you? I mean, everything is messed up. And clearly you can see it's messed up. We saw 3 political parties say they form a coalition. And I'm going to make you guys think about what I'm about to say. NEC is the body under the law responsible to handle cases arising out of political parties or a coalition of what have you. The 3 parties sent document to NEC that had lots of signatures missing. Up to now, nothing from NEC. Then the party itself, through its chairman, recognized by the court, wrote a communication to NEC. Up to now, nothing. All the cases before NEC at a crucial time like this, up to now, nothing. Recipe for chaos. Most of the cases are at the Supreme Court to be adjudicated amongst or between political parties. Up to now, nothing. The American ambassador said, government, you got to get the poor money. Up to now, nothing. Give NEC money to conduct. Up to now, nothing. So I don't see how anyone can convince me that we are having a credible elections when people in the South who took the most, how you call your team, contraceptive pills, produce the most children. At the end of the day, look at where we are.
Immaculate conception.
Yes. Then the last but not the least, NEC comes up and say, you can register wherever you want to. But where you register, that's where you will vote. So as a result, vote trucking, which was illegal, is now legal. And the reason why it is legal is because we don't have districts. And the reason why we don't have district is because the census did not provide the districts or the population that would have allowed NEC to redistrict and the legislature to validate the redistricts. So what's going to happen? You register here, you say, I will vote for Yeke in District 10. If they were to demarcate and redistrict and put you out, you will get this. So what are they saying now? They're saying, you know what? We'll not use the census for this election. Why not? You will be in violation of the Constitution again. So just like President Weah is saying his pie is from Nima now, that had it telling us now that their district is so and so. So for me, I think the election has been hijacked. And given the VOA report that I listened to, I think the American government, along with our partners, should rethink. It will not be in their interest for them to look at people like us and say, we had nothing to do with this, so we can't say anything. Because at the end of the day, you can clearly see chaos creeping. And they are doing nothing. Because George Weah will not hijack this election. Look, I am serious about what I'm telling you. If Weah attempts to hijack this election, even Americans will be surprised at the action of the Liberian people. Then they will understand what real suffering is, because Liberians are patient. Liberians are obeying the laws. Liberians are laying down their neck to be caught like sheep. You can see the advantage, you can see. And I send this thing to Good Day so they can play it. I don't know if you guys did the same when you reach in the church, don't raise new song. But I send it so you can listen to the VOA report that the US government have indicted, not in a court of law, but by reason of what they put out, this government, for all the worst violations any country can have. So why are they sitting and watching us to go through this? When we get to that point and they reach the tipping point, I hope they will step back and let us do what we have to do.
Thank you, Mr. Fagon.
So to prevail on James, it's a short clip, and not even more than 1 minute from the VOA. He can play.
Yes. Actually, I'm going to ask Mr. Kolobai, if you have any other comments to make or any other thoughts before we go on to the clip, and then have other commentaries about what have been happening in the trending news or additional thoughts that we wanted to expand on here on this show today. There was the issue of IRED report that came out that sort of relates to the functioning of our government and possibly people who are interested in leadership in our government. There was also the issue of course, what we're talking about, the arrest in the Cape Mount border there of one person who was impersonating a Liberian to get a Liberian registration ID card. And also, I'm going to say there was also the issue of the, I think either Fadiga reported that he's also saw a video where people were not getting paid.
Did you say one, Dr. Francine?
Yeah. Well,
there were 8 Sierra Leoneans caught, according to the reports.
Yeah. Kuben came on and clarified earlier. He said only one person was arrested.
Okay.
One person was arrested. Some Sylvester Karoma or something like that.
The people plenty. The borders.
No, I think there's multiple incidents. This one I'm talking about was reported by OKFM that an immigration officer was collaborating with 8 Sierra Leoneans.
There's some mix. He said he's person. I don't know. It's very hard to get confirming reports in Liberia.
You're right. It could be wrong. I don't have any.
He said he started his news to us and said he called the immigration officer, and Eric Kuben, if you're listening, you can please come and speak for yourself, and said he thought there was 8 Sierra Leonean, but it turned out that one person was arrested. So I'm not sure. We're still working on the report. We're still getting some confirmed news here. So on the call, could you please just tell us your thoughts, and then we're gonna,
So like I was saying, you see, I sent some photos to Jane Goody again today with children in uniform that are under age that Mange had carried in district number 1.
Picture? Can you share those pictures?
Yeah, Jim got them. Let him put them up. He got them. Let him put them up for the public. And we got people people that want to talk to the international community, not the police, that have been paid to do voter registration after the time. They want to talk to the international community. They don't trust the police. They don't trust the justice ministry. And as soon as we can get a link, like I was discussing today, as soon as we can get a link, they'll be available. And they will say a lot of things, a lot of evidence they got. People doing registration to their houses. To someone else, they're doing it to their sister house. What kind of country is this? What kind of country is this? No, the election is finished before October 10th. It finished. The whole registration need to go over. It's not credible. It's nothing to go back. And we are calling our people that are being afraid in the district, people that want to come to register in district number 10. We are getting assurance that what happened will not happen again. They can go ahead and do the registration, because I think a lot of people have intervened. So we will not see those things happening again where they want to put people in the district, people making people afraid. I don't think it will happen again. So we are calling on the citizens to go and do the registration, because you will decide who become president. You will decide who become representative. You will decide if Yeke will be booted out. So please go and do your registration to vote me out. Violence is not the way forward. Cheating the process is not the way forward, because when you get seditions, I want to challenge that lady. I got evidence that she spoke to Malabar Model today. I got evidence that she spoke to Paul from NEC today on that number. And NEC is aware. The number she said got missing. The phone she said got missing. Thank God somebody using on WhatsApp. They have posted a lot of pictures in that chat room. Posted a lot of things in that chat room. Why would somebody want to use your phone got stolen? I want to use WhatsApp page to be chatting with Leo. You think it's possible? I want the phone. I found the phone. I will take the SIM card off and put my SIM card there. Crazy here. The Liberian put on crazy. Let's stop joking. And we are looking at NEC. I wrote a phone for NEC, because I will be contesting. I am contesting district number 10. Anything that happens, that will be affecting me. If I can get redress, I will have to proceed to the court. If I can get redress from the court, I will have to proceed to another place.
Thank you, Honorable Kova.
Jim, people the picture up now with those students. You want to pull it up, or Mangena get you something?
Oh.
Yeah, okay. I mean, because it's a serious matter. I mean, put the picture up. If there's students on the line registering, it doesn't say a student can register. A student can be above the age of 18. But again, when you look at the students, we're all not fools. We can know if students are younger than 18, we're all Liberians. I mean, but it's a serious thing happening in the country. They have set up this whole structure wherein they're heavily reliant upon first-time voters. And to determine the ages between 18 now going forward, they're taking 15, 16. It's like according to my size.
But Falcon, let me tell you something. When we get the people that was supposed to, I got evidence with people sitting in Mange living room. I got their photos. With them sitting in Mange living room, I got their photos. It's not for the police. It's not for the Justice Ministry. It's not for the Election Commission. It's for the international community that will give those people insurance and security. We'll bring it out.
Okay. All right. It is 6:10. Mr. Fagon, I know you have that video. I think we can use it in your closing comments. If
it's an audio, I will use it in my closing. If I know he puts it up.
Yes. I want to just go to the phone lines because it's 6:10 already, and I want to have Liberian people respond to. You heard us talk about the IRA report that sort of spoke to the active members of our legislators who's been active and who hasn't said a boo in our legislature at all. So you can speak to that. You can speak about the registration process that's Honorable Yeka Kolba is talking about right now. He's sensing, and like we have been talking about, we're sensing some inappropriate activities going on with the registration process. If you want to just give a shout out to Sonia Wilson as well, who's running in District 2, Nima County, you can do that as well. And lastly, if you have not gotten paid in a couple of months right now, you are doing your volunteer work for the Republic of Liberia, please call us and tell us how's that going. So there's
just realized in annual message that Civil 7 is being underpaid. Why have they done about it? People being paid $40, $25. What kind of country is this?
Again, that is serious. Today you had a demonstration, a protest at Transport Ministry.
Yes.
We're going to continue Monday, and Monday there might be multiple protests. That is, you will have the Lands and Mines Ministry, and then the Information Ministry, I'm hearing, will come outside on Monday too, because they have not gotten paid for 2 months, and most of them that demonstrated the last time, the issues have not been addressed. They're still making $40 and $45.
Okay. All right. So let's go on to the phone line, please. We're going to take about 5 calls because of we're against time already, and then we'll go to diaspora line as well.
So, Regis, I don't know if I can make clarity on that issue about the arrest.
Sure, just quickly, please. I know.
Quickly. I said there were reports about 8 persons being arrested. So I decided to do follow up on this information. And immigration officer, a very hard placed immigration officer there, informed me that what he's aware of is just an arrest of 1 person that is being mentioned around, one Sylvester Kuroma. That's the only individual he knows that have been arrested. In fact, that arrest did not take place in Bo, as is being reported. It took place at a place called Bambola. Bambala town in Great County.
Yeah.
There where the arrest took place, and that 8 persons. So up to now, it has not been established fully that 8 persons were arrested trying to, register. And that was the information I got.
Thank you.
So let's
go to phone lines.
080043181. That's I'm calling fabric number 0777 1075 101075 05101075 77. Let's take this person here. Good morning. Good evening. Welcome. Good evening.
This is Mr. Kamu calling from Shantiville.
Quiet. Welcome.
Yeah, I listened to Yake. For me, I want you to train me. Because when people make any mistake, when anything happen in this country, when you are the government official run away, we will break their horses down. We will break them down. And we will take them to the lowest part.
Thank you.
No violence.
Welcome. Yeah, no violence.
Thank you.
Welcome.
This is James Story. I call from Proclamation.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Okay, election, and now if you started, then you can start carrying crime all around. And you forget to know that when you're boasting that holding people in a district to vote for him, that one, he was happy to it. If people can be calling already that they coming in Yeke district to register to vote for Yeke. For now, other people going there and see other people carrying a group to getting best. Then you tell them about raping election. Why should you cry before the time? And telling that people cheating, anything that the government do that you'll say it's not fair. Anything that the government do, you'll look at a good thing, you'll say it's not good. You'll try to support the country. These are not correct. It's not good.
Thank you, sir.
The one you do, other person doing it too, then you carry crying around.
Thank you, sir. Sorry. Thank you, sir. Welcome. Sorry about to let you go. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah. This is Marco Johnson calling from Oro. I live honorable on I want to live in Westminster for that what you're saying. They go to I want to go restaurant to restaurant or mostly dating. They brought two legged there on age. That was person said no. This year is too much. The other leg called legged to go to a particular get even know her age. They got to get on the land. The girl was the school of how they get. It is trying to ask the girl for another to stop on the girl. But stay the girl for the more couldn't get nothing better than I got walking away. So why you saying that too? It happened this way. It happening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's take this person here. Welcome. Let me take this person. Welcome.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is Paul from Puebla.
Go ahead, sir.
So you see, what your guy is saying, I don't want anybody to do the big joke. It is very serious. After this is completely arranged, if you come to the city of Monserrado County, Puebla region, you will feel hurt. Children below the age of 14 are registered. In fact, they tell you someone, say, yes, I don't want to call school name. They're prepared to go and register and then get a car you pass for the year. So you press for the same point the city and see what we're talking about here. So parents of school are contending for election saying that students say they don't go and define a register with a car you pass for 2023 academic year. It's very, very slow. On age. And
is that which other school is doing that?
School in the next year.
Which school?
In the city.
Which school?
A lot of schools here. We don't record our names so people get it because on your radio. But you can say again the final what we're getting in the city and see what happening here.
Okay.
How do you get culture you get putting car you pass for academic year?
Thank you.
We just very y'all. I mean this I want to build Liberia. Thank you.
One more call, Kuban.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead.
My name is Joel Vara. I call from Johnsonville.
Go ahead.
Honorable Koluba, I just want you to relax. Because the voice of the people is the voice of God. Even CDC can take one more old within handprint and take picture. CDC will not be safe. So we will not be re-elected. They can even go to Babalawo. Babalawo will not save them.
Okay.
The people will come out to vote. I'm not about to remove the government through their democratic means. So let you relax. Because after being a representative, you have another life to live. We know how we're looking. So you should not be feeling things. Then you relax. And Pago, thank you very much, Pago. You this show is very decent one. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. There's no more caller, right? So we.
I should take one more, or that was
Okay,
a lie.
go ahead, take one more. Take one more.
Okay, let me take this person. Welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening. You are live. Go ahead.
Yeah. says my name, and I'm calling from Banana this evening. Let me say good evening to the rest of the panelists. I listened to the IRS report, and let me first appreciate Senator Abraham Towers because I've seen one of the lawmakers that is very outspoken, and then when it comes to representation in the House of Senate, I think he came number one. And the other guys are, we anticipate for them to work hard.
Okay.
But then on the other side, they bamboo. Yeah, nothing they have done. It is less of so much all the island. I think we are bringing people we have to recalculate and shoot that many out there. 2023 will come.
Thank you. Thank you. Even though we managed to understand you, but thanks for participating.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much, Aaron, for taking the calls. I'm going to just make a few announcements, and then I'm going to ask Mr. Fagon to please take over because I have to run to another engagement. And the announcement is tomorrow we have female developers coming on to the show. They will be our guest speakers, so please join us. Let your friends know. They're going to tell us about how all of us can combine collectively to help develop our country if you're in the diaspora. On Monday, we have our legendary Legacy of Liberia, Madam Counselor Pearl Bull coming on. She's going to tell us her experience of not only being a woman, but a powerful woman in our country, and tell us a little bit about what it's like to contribute to Liberia. She's done that. She was in public service for a long time. So I'm actually going to hand the show over to you, Mr. Fagon, because I have to run. See you guys. Bye-bye.
The next piece where you said we want to talk about the IRAD report. Okay, yeah, I think so. That's good. Yeah. Sorry, Fagon, go ahead.
I don't have the notes for the IRAD, but I know some people fail, some people pass, some they cool, some they pass. And I know Fadika cannot wait to tell you about how the IRS say all the people that in the bottom sub, Jeremiah Kuhn is there. So what we need to do right now is she was going to close the show at 6:30. So we got 10 minutes. What we need to do is jump into if you want us to, IRAD report, if that's what you guys want, or just go ahead with our closing.
I think people can mention it if they want to in their closing or whatever.
I'm not interested in that report, man. It is what it is.
Because, Minister Fagon, my very first thing is the report is flawed in the first place. Talking in plenary, they're not achievement. Yeah. How do you grade people A, B, C for talking in plenary? The achievements
the bar have been set so low that even talking said get harmed.
Talking an achievement because you talk in plenary, people tracking the number of time that you talk in plenary that achievement. What kind of legislature we run here?
I was about to say, so because you still not just talk nonsense.
Just talk in plenary, that means
to achieve.
What the way you make for all the time, that's what I mean, Bobby.
So the question is, how many successful bills were you able to rally your colleagues to get through? How many successful? Like that's the kind of thing that we should be looking at.
Let's ask him how many times he talks, so we can do it.
But Honorable Coliba supposed to get double A. How many times you stood up and talk?
That's the point I'm making because he's the guy.
I talk every minute.
You got Honorable Coliba can talk every. Nobody can stop him from saying the thing.
They can put him outside all.
Yeah, they can even put him outside for you talking.
I really want to see a grade for real.
But this is the thing when we talk sometimes people can think that because
we can't. I want to talk different. So usually,
no. Fadiga, we just fooling up. To just say why we shouldn't go in the report.
We shouldn't go there. That's the way. You can say people might come in the district and he too are bringing people. Then we come one spot the country need. All the thing we talk about the constitution, the census, the violation of the law. NEC is not having money, work not going on smooth, people not getting paid. You see all I want. The other thing you see, you carrying people, the poor carrying people, then spoon people one spot the people need. It's finished. And that is why Liberia is at a pivotal point in her history. But guys, let's
you know something you know something about that voter trucking. They won't get rid of Yeke, they will lose other places. The only worst thing I see with this thing here is that you underage people that are bringing in. A problem, the children are plenty.
Do you think that's the only trouble that you really see? That's just
no. I see more, but they assume I saw that machine that they use. The machine is so small and portable that anybody can carry to the house.
But that's what they put doing.
They bring people and put a fingerprint on pay.
But first of all, it's not even about the machine for me, UJ. What sense does it make that you use biometric for half of the election,
and then you can use it
to the other side of the election? So what? So I want to know what is forcing you. A biometric voter registration process makes no sense if that data is not validated.
Yeah, what people will verify it. You can't call it by you can't call it by here. The other one, we feel look at it, mark our number better.
And that's what I said. Still, if you don't have the capacity to do a biometric voting system, because people would have been more afraid to know that when you show up on that day, you still got to go through the face scanner, or you got to put. People are going to be more afraid because if you're talking about party to get more information in, it will show that your fingerprint is doubling on 2 names, or your fingerprint is doubling on more than 1 name. But the way it is right now, if I know the biometric process, I then collecting data and putting it somewhere and say it there. The day I go vote, I then need to show someone an ID card that me on it.
I kid you not. One of the things that will show up in this NEC stuff, the eligible voters. Just watch. It will get 3 million people registered to vote in a country that you will not do community. That will happen. You will just see.
No, but you're not gonna know because the guy said in front of the Senate they would take the data at the data diagnostic center where they would process and eliminate identical. And I look at the guy
and neck is the policeman, the watchdog, the oversight, and everything. There's no other body.
With stupid people.
Well, now care independent data analysis.
When you do that in 6 months of the election, when you go do that one, but you go bring a data analysis company that will tell you, say, my brother Cyrus 6 months. If you even finish collecting the data you want to analyze it, you just started collecting it a few days ago.
It will surprise people to know that all those students on our land finish passing for the year, that they understand it. When you get a voter registration card, you pass for the year.
Why the guy won't show the picture?
When you get a voter registration card, you pass for the year.
Let's go facilitate already 6:26.
Let's do this. Again, she wanted us to close at 6:30. And then in our closing, we can highlight some of the issues that were discussed. I came late, but we'll let the guest, Honorable Yeke Koluba, do his closing comments. Remember, you are speaking to the people of Liberia. The people of Liberia are listening to you. The international community is listening to you. So I'd like for you to proceed with your closing comments.
Let me say thank you for the show. We need the Liberian people to know that the voter registration is the election. If the opposition will be successful, we will know from the voter registration. And the way I see things going is difficult, the election finish. Because you can't get students that are underage and tell them schools, the school administration is using, or the school administrators are using the students to make money and telling them when you get a voter registration card, you pass for the year. What kind of country is this? What kind of country is this? You get voter registration card, you pass for the year? If I go and see you, man.
Well, thank you, Honorable Koluba. It's unfortunate, but again, we're looking at opposition figures in the country. What surprises me is the fact that out of at least 21 political parties in the opposition, and everybody looking up to one man, and they're not saying anything. Al Hussein, you want to do your closing?
My closing will be slightly different. It's the observation that I observe today in a cringe. Therefore, yesterday we had the CEO of Spoon on air. He made some damning allegation, and this is what I don't understand about the opposition. I don't know what's going on with us, but this specifically to the CPP or in the ANC. I saw I saw a post by Mariah Yakula, and that post actually I was mad. This is someone that I know personally, but I was very mad and discouraged that why would people in the opposition be defending Samuel Toy? That particular post, and I saw, and I was talking yesterday on social media, I saw people going around and trying to defend. Mr. Waterspoon came, he made a damning allegation for $50,000 that was allegedly given to people. He said he refused. He didn't say he take the money. Whether you believe it or not, that was his allegation. Why with a chief of staff of a permanent opposition candidate want to put herself on the record to defend Samuel Tuwe?
Instead of calling for an investigation.
Instead of calling for an investigation. And this is everything we're talking here. It just speaks to the unseriousness of the opposition because other they can do it. But that particular one drew my attention. Look, at some point in politics, you have to put your personal ego aside. At some point in politics, you have to put your personal thing as belief aside and think on the general goal of the country. Because in my mind, why are we keep making amateur moves? Now, in this whole election, we have had two people that keep coming up. Alexander Cummings, Joseph Boyka. Alexander Cummings, Joseph Boyka. Taiwan Konglo is a good candidate. People not talking. So if the team were ranking, we'll probably see we are. Then they say Boyka here, Cummings here, then Taiwan Konglo. These are the two permanent people. In barely 6 months, we're talking about voter registration, something that is going on that people are supposed to have the eye here. I don't want people to cry come January, be crying, oh, the CIO or international. Nobody coming. And I saw that thing. I'm like, what is this young lady doing? Why is, I don't understand. It's like 1 minute before we start suffering protest, someone come on and say, oh, you know what? They see our $700,000. Who asked you to talk it? Someone see your money, keep it. That thing killed the momentum. These are amateur moves. Why you keep making amateur move? George Weah keep making boss move. George Weah have cooked the election since 6 years ago with the southeastern narrowing of our Supreme Court. George Weah have put everything in place. This guy, look, this thing that Yeke talking, even though I'm yet to authenticate or verify those information, but it makes a lot of sense to win an election. Because the first thing the man say, oh, we're paying YFE. No Liberian ever complained about YFE in our country before. With all the suffering, parents are being able to. This is an attempt to capture that voting group and so on. And look at the age group. Look at the age group. If none of those children were in town in Liberia, they say, okay, be all in school. But over the years, it has reduced. Since after the war, the new children now, you will see that people going to school now are around the people around 17, 18, 19 who are coming out of high school. The days that we used to have very old people graduating from high school, you don't see that nowadays like before. In the last 10 years, at least our education has stabilized to the point that people are graduating around the same age. Maybe in a rural area, but in urban area, you're not seeing too many.
1 more minute.
Old people, in school. So if I don't see you in time to say, oh yeah, I could assume that person around 18 years old. I see those black Nigerians that still in the elementary junior high school in line. It calls for questioning. So the whole sense, I think the national identification registry should have been conducted before any election, because at least at that time we have an identification card that could be used as a tool for voter registration. You know what I'm saying? So we already know that who are Liberian, we already have the age, and then we can go Sony. But we don't think anybody can Sony. Then when you can either say, oh, we question you with other Sony, this is flawed. So imagine if George Weah managed to put the legitimate human being Liberians, all those youngsters in Magioda and people that allegedly put in there, and they registered almost 2, 3, 4, 500,000 of those young. Liberia is a very youthful country. That more than half our voting bloc.
You got 30 seconds.
You know, and the election is over. So when I saw that post and keep seeing the mistake that the opposition keep making, look, Mr. Cummings, CPP, ALP, I've already said it. We have gone to the drawing board. We have done the math. If the two of you can come back, y'all just get ready for Joe. We have to be the president next time, and y'all will start crying. Nobody will listen. The Liberian people are fed up with this nonsense. That people you're playing with the lives of people. Why would anyone want to defend Samuel Twe? Samuel Twe, I have met. Is it far-fetched that Samuel Twe will propose $50,000? Who all know that the final thought, or what they call that thing that they have in there, is sponsored by Samuel Twe. The page that's sharing the thing is Samuel Twe page. Nobody need to tell you, it's an open secret. It's a CDC running that whole how they call closing argument.
Thank you.
CDC
Thank you.
Stuff. But for you to be on that scene and you want to be, look, man, I don't know. Y'all want we have to win the election. Y'all just getting the election, start with say our time.
Thank you very much, Al Hussein Fadiga, the man that is investigating everything. We'll now move over to Leo Nupolu Johnson to give us his closing.
Thank you. And thank you to all of the viewers for joining us tonight. And I will say this. My brother Al Hussein, the thing you're saying, it's too late for you. And that 6 months to the election, we'll be able to identify people in the line. Just look at them wearing uniform and say, because you're in grade 6 or 7, you're not qualified to be 18-year-old. We got no way to prove it or not to prove it. That is the reason why many years ago, some of us have always been crying that these things are not, you can have political party whose only preoccupation is to win elections. That the only preoccupation about winning election. All the political parties in Liberia, since the election ended in 2017, how many political parties in the opposition have worked, even when I with 3 opposition lawmakers who make sense, because most of them on their own, to say, let's draft some possible bills and, through the legislature that we believe will deal with some of these systemic governance issues. It doesn't matter if it passes or not, because you know what it does? It sets the record. That what will happen is somebody have put a bill through the legislature about solving the whole citizenship problem, and identifying Liberian citizens, and it was voted down. Today, that person would have been holding that bill up in their hands and say, 4 years ago, this was the reason why we brought this to the Liberian legislature, but it was corrupted and they voted it down. We're bringing it back to tell you, the Liberian people, this is what they wanted to do. Nobody can say that. So all of our political parties in Liberia, they are only pre-focus is after 2017 election. Let's start working and wondering how we can win the next election. That cannot be how you run a political party. And that's the reason why, for me, when I come out here and tell people that, again, we are here to be supporting which side, what side, and we are not calling for the scrutiny that should happen. This is how it's been forever. Elections are done. We tolerate political parties disintegrating the weight. 2 years to the election, all of a sudden, then they start mobilizing everything or whatever that is. That means you got nothing to run on, because you would have been preferring some of the bills that you have suggested that the legislature, voted it down, that you are now running on, that the Liberian people are saying this thing was true 4 years ago, the person introduced it here, but the people ain't listening to the ban at corruption ban they were on. But everybody's still running and promising the Liberian people the things they will do that they've never done before. No example. I will see if you come to me and say, Leo, I want to start a business. I need $10 million. And you tell me, say, the first business I started, I only had $5,000, and here's what I did. If Al Hussein can demonstrate to me that he knows how to think through $5,000, there's no reason why he can scale it up to think through $5 million. Because the same set of ideas you need to properly manage and think through $5,000 is the exact same set of ideas you need to manage $5 million. The only difference is you will be scaling up by several digits. Let me say the last thing. You can scale Liberian people with hard time. They think we're passing and rioting, and Liberian people say, oh, another says, yeah, Jawia, me hard time, me this. Liberian people whole life, some of our whole life been a recession. The hard time has just been to what scale? And you know what scale? Has it been too hard or has it been too soft? So you can only show Liberian people what's better. Lord, let me tell you something. I keep telling people, you Jela, yeah, if somebody buys you a Tesla, or you bought a Tesla, and you drove a Tesla for 5 years, then somebody finish and say they bring you 2005 Toyota Camry to give it back to you. If it means you will take the bus, you will take the bus. Because you've tested what it means to drive comfort and luxury. Nobody has given the Liberian people that ability to taste what's better. So you can say all you want that your war versus president, we are war. You can debate it. Your own are promising president, we are say a bay pack. You know what that pack is important? Because anybody under the age of 40 has never seen a pack in the Republic of Liberia. So let's keep arguing and say the pack not important, the pack substandard. You know what? Anybody under 40 saying the pack substandard. Why all the other people that came, they not be a pack in the country? So the argument has been dumbed down to a place the Liberian people can only talk about what they've seen, what they've experienced. The people who say they got better until we start to show the Liberian people better. And I'll close by saying this. People keep asking, why Leo go to Liberia? He won't build Liberia. You know why? Because we've been building makeshift structures in Liberia, telling our children and say that Liberia there. So somebody needs to do something different, get our children to experience it. So the day somebody come out and build them more horse and say they think a library, they can say, can let me hold your hand and carry you to Pillsbury City Hall. Let me show you what library loaded before you can give me mud horse. So I keep saying, let's show them. Let's let our people start experiencing on a smaller scale what good governance looks like, what quality looks like. Why political parties in Liberia are not producing financial reports and reports at the end of the year? It's in the election laws. The election laws say political parties are supposed to produce their financials. Some of these parties been around long enough. They're not doing it, but they won't hold president. We are accountable for not doing budget, not doing that. That is right to hold him accountable. But show us what you can do with a small one we get you to actually manage. Then we can trust that you can scale it up when you get there. My people, you're good night.
Thank you, Leo. You can see Leo do a hand like that, like I finished 14 already. Well, Leo, what you said made a lot of sense. But for my tiny little country, you can't scare Liberian people with suffering. Nah, you can scare them with suffering. Trust me. Because when you take a person from making 1,000 United States dollars, that was the video I put in the chat room, to where that person now have to make 250. And you told that person, look, listen, man, our budget is bloated. 530 million. Come on, we can't pay you that money no more. Therefore, we got to do what? Harmonization. And the person said, oh my God, I finished. The budget you say was bloated. You have now carried it to 780 million. But you still paying the person 150. Does that make sense? Does that make sense when you say, I want to fight corruption? Okay, $30 million stimulus package, no account. $25 million mop-up. You say you use 17.5. We can't hear the story. The 150 million that was in the reserve, what happened to it? Then we talk about the 16 billion. The reason why you brought in the 25 million was, quote, to mop up the excess liquidity. Who infused the excess liquidity in the first place? During whose regime did it come? And who was held responsible for it? Who was arrested for it? And now that you claim you've mopped up the excess liquidity, where then is the money? How can people who came to help you fight corruption wind up dead in a car? Or they got killed somehow, falling from their own balcony. The thing I'm trying to raise with you is that, yes, you will build the one library and you show them how it is done and the way it is done. Perfect. But Liberia is not Pillsbury City Hall right there. The bulk of Liberians are either in Nimba, Lofa, Grangida, and around the country.
Yeah, in Maserado.
No, I'm saying the bulk of Liberians around the country too. You know the spread. Yes, so we got to start with one. But it's a guy from Canada. The guy where they put can call Mr. Library, hair shop, yeah, Ash. It was that guy, not our government. It was that guy. And for the past 6 years, if that guy had not brought that modern library, which is being constructed, that football field will give people knowledge, park for people to play. All of the parks you build are in the capital city. How many you put in Grangida, Grand Coup, River G, Bomi, Cape Mount, Lofa? What did you put in Nimba? Nothing. You do it because you want it to be right around you and you see the glory. Let's move on to what you have done, the roads. Many of the roads already hanging in limbo. If you cannot find $10 million for the most important thing in the country at this point, which is election, now Rawafi Road you will get money to, that Ganta Road you will get money to, if the employees have not taken pay for 2 months straight, which money will you get in? If you cannot get neck the money. If you pay them, neck is left out. If you pay neck, the people are left out. Who's paying taxes now? You screw up a whole government. And so at the end of the day, if you say yes, Liberian poor, no suffering, I would rather you say, and maybe in the back we should have this conversation. Liberians are patient-minded people. But like April 14, if you remember, when they get mad, no stopping. April 12, 1980, when they get mad, no stopping. November 12, 1985, when they get mad, no stopping. December 24th, 1989, when they get mad, no stopping. When they go for voting and they tell you came a man, you came a pa, you will understand them by force. When you go and they see the woman coming, they say, Mama coming, monkey come down, you will understand them. When you see a man who did not graduate from high school, and you see if I go beyond that man saying, you know what, you know, boy, you not know, boy, we will vote for you. We become irrational when you push us to the wall. We don't know what to do. We do what we have to do. So I am saying for this election, all of the nonsense that's going on, President Weah should not think for 1 second that the silent majority is asleep. If he attempts to do that, he will be sleeping on himself. James Goodell, do you have the 1 minute tip so we can go to bed with that?
Yeah, and James, just like you go into that tip, I just want to clarify something. I didn't say Liberians like suffering or are used to suffering. I said Liberians.
You can't scare them with suffering.
I said you can't scare them with suffering because all we know. Now you forgot. I just all we know. Someone like me from the day I was born.
What kind of suffering you know? Now people used to eat on the can in Ghana, like suffering, you know suffering.
On the can so be enjoying. For the guy who can be refugee can be enjoying.
Let me tell you something. They're picking one of those.
They said the man had a quiet need for that play because I pre-co.
That was a bit sleepy right here. How say you enjoying?
And you had to pay, say. So let me tell you a secret. They both never had any job to do but to be choir director. You know what I want me? You know what I want me?
They said there is power in prayer.
See that? When you see that big passing,
Aaron, I sent an audio to you to your WhatsApp. Please play it from studio.
When you see Leo passing, they say, but we're gonna be all the choir director. I know Luchincha. I'm like, we're gonna be will be able to sing. That man want to sing.
Aaron, you got me?
Good play the video. I beg you. Good.
No, not video, not audio.
But seriously, you still singing?
I still directing the university choir. I'm the assistant director for the university choir.
So you just believe me? I can never lie.
I believe you.
I can never lie. Anything I tell you, even about good day today, something I know about good day that happened in Poland today.
Talk it. 1 year.
I will leave it.
Nothing you know about me. Nothing you know about me.
I even told him, man, nothing you know about me. Nothing you come at people, don't put it outside.
Nothing you know about me.
The only thing I know, suffering agree with all. Suffering agree with all.
Aaron, please play the audio I sent to you.
You know, Aaron said running away. But you know, on a much more serious note again, our country, and I like the way Leo can put it. You know, it's like the heavy rain came down, you didn't open your reservoir. They do fall in now. You didn't open your small water bucket. You didn't put it outside. They do fall in January, you open your whole reservoir. What are you coming to catch?
No, but honestly, we need to pay attention to the voters on it because I'm seeing a huge spark in new voters. Is alarming.
It's very low.
Yeah, can you increase the volume? Is it possible to increase the volume?
Arbitrary arrests and detentions. The Liberian government has been indicted for human rights abuses such as The Liberian government has been indicted for human rights abuses such as extrajudicial killings, cruel punishment, life-threatening prison conditions, restrictions on freedom of expression, arbitrary arrests and detentions, money laundering, corruption, among others. The allegations are contained in the U.S. State Department 2022 Human Rights Report on Liberia, released on March 20th this year. Rita Jalabuduo spoke to Liberians for their reaction.
This report from the U.S. Embassy did not come as a surprise to the Liberian people because this is something that we experience in our country on a daily basis. And we want to say thank you to the U.S. government for lifting this at such level and checkmating the government.
It's happening. It is not something that we need to say and argue about. It's happening. We are seeing it on a daily basis. Liberia is suffering. And sometimes you carry your own right to court. In Liberia, because you don't have money, they will step on a case. And we are grieving. If you don't have money, somebody lie on you right now. Like the person got money, you will go to jail, my sister. So that's why we are very careful, because our rights have been played with in Liberia. They have been a long time now. So we just decide not to just sit and just leave it with God. Only God can have Liberia right now.
The reaction of some Liberians to the U.S. State Department 2022 Human Rights Report on Liberia. A Liberian government official told VOA that the government will respond to the report after an interministerial meeting takes place. And that's it for this Thursday, March 30th edition of Daybreak Africa. I am James Barton in Washington saying, have a great day.
Wow. Now, you see that kind of thing, extrajudicial killings. Who would have thought Joe with looking like somebody who can kill flat? But again, all the other things they listed, nothing got to me most. That when they said, the government said they will respond after interministerial meeting. Since March 20th, tomorrow is my birthday. I just hope you all know.
You don't one of the things that happened during the executive administration that I used to see. You see, ordinary person in Liberia, as soon as you're getting something that will be within the packet, they go to court. People had to go to court in Liberia. And one of the things during the executive administration, you will see people beating the packet. We'll go to court, take me to court. Because they believe in the judiciary system at that time.
Not this time.
Now, no.
People will say, Leo, Jacko, let go be with. No, they can say, James Goodday will witness me on this one. They can say, go, Papa, I sue you to go. Everybody suing to go now in Liberia because they are afraid of the courts. So, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining. People in Radio Land, you've had Aaron Kuban at Controls. You had Good Day, and you had Leo, as well as Al Hussein Fadiga. It's been a pleasure being with you all today. Thank you. Take it over, Aaron.
Okay, folks, there you have it. The Spoon Talk, Liberia, most fascinating nighttime discussion, the biggest platform, as a matter of fact. I've been here, your sound producer. James, your hair is getting too bushy, and the beer as well. You need to save them. Until we come away again, bye-bye.
Respect. You see my beard, so you can call me uncle.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Good night.
All right, bro. Thank you, man. It was great. Lumajara, what's up, bro? Every day when I hear Monica story. Oh, God.